the college women's basketball landscape, there might not be a state in the entire country with more dominant programs than Connecticut. Off the top of your head, the UConn Huskies might jump out with their 12 national championships, but at the mid-major level, two Nutmeg State rivals have caught national attention with their dominant play. The back-to-back reigning MAC champion Fairfield Stags and the Quinnipiac Bobcats, who have made the big dance 5 times in program history. And these two teams clash again this afternoon in Hamden, Connecticut, with huge playoff implications on the line. Inside Studio 125 with everything you need to know leading up to today's game. My name is Ben Rickevicius, alongside me Zach Naffah, Brady Mullen, and Thomas Curtis. A little extra treat for you guys. It's Valentine's Day. Brady, I gotta know, is this how you imagine spending your Valentine's Day?
I can't say it is, but nothing to complain about. I'm loving it.
We're going to have some fun. Well, the Bobcats had a date with the Siena Saints at the Bank Thursday night. It was the lone meeting between these two teams this season. Saints have won 4 in a row. Could they hand QU its first conference loss of the season? Bobcats, fresh off a New York road trip where they beat both Niagara and Canisius by double digits. In the first quarter, Anna Foley averaging just under 10 points a game. Defender in her face doesn't matter. She hits the jumper, Saints up 3. Later in the first, Ella Ryan finds her sister Sid Ryan, and she drains the 3. Bobcats up 3 after 1. Ella Ryan got the ball in her hands this time, and she's going to do it all by herself. Drives to the basket, makes the layup. 4 points on the game for Ella Ryan. But in the second quarter, let's check out some history here. Foley, with some space, knocks down the jumper and scores her 1,000th career point. Foley becoming the 30th Bobcat to accomplish the feat. Bobcats up 6 at half. Karson Martin finds Emma Lizotte on the block. She drills the jumper. QU still up 41-32. And in the fourth, Ella O'Donnell goes to work. Ball spin and makes the reverse layup. Bobcats are up 13 points. Martin looking for the dagger and finds Foley inside for the layup. She finished with 11 points. Bobcats win this one 62-40. O'Donnell led the team with 14 points and 9 rebounds. And the Bobcats remain perfect in MAC play. Despite Quinnipiac winning by 20, the Bobcats offense is averaging just under 14 points in the first quarter over the last 3 games. And that's 3 points lower than how many points they've been averaging per quarter this season. Thomas, what do the Bobcats need to do to prevent slower starts in the future?
It's all about the three-point shooting. I think everybody knows that we're going to talk about it this whole pregame. It's all about the three-point shooting. In their last 3 games, they only have 3 made three-pointers in the first quarter. That's including 0 against Canisius. So this team's going to have to shoot the 3 ball much better in the first quarter if they want to get out to a good start against Fairfield. And that's what sustaining a lead starts with, is making your shots early.
And I think it's not even just the three-pointer. I think this is where Zach agrees with me. I think it's also just the field goal percentage as a whole. If you even take out those three-pointers, they're shooting just around or below 40% from the field. It's not how you want to start the game.
Yeah, against Siena and Canisius, on non-3-point attempts in the first quarter, they shot 40% or below. Now, if you compare that to games against Merrimack, Manhattan, Niagara, they were 70% or above. So I think that, again, that's just on 2-point shots. I think you need to create looks inside to then get better-looking 3-point shots. So I think that the threes are going to come and go, but the scoring inside and doing it efficiently, that's going to be what opens them up to start better, and they just have to play a little smarter.
And I like the word you use there, efficient, because they're having some opportunities low, but they're missing some easy shots, some ones that should be a make, whether it's Anna Foley, Ella O'Donnell. They have to have those to fall early game and get that momentum going, especially for a team like Fairfield today.
But the threes they can't come and go against a team like Fairfield. You're going to have to be ready to go from the gates. I'm looking at Jackie Grisdale, Karson Martin, Ella Ryan as well. We'll talk about her later and her 3-point shooting. You need at least one of those 3 players to start off hot and keep feeling it throughout the game, because otherwise you can't beat a team like Fairfield
That was the recipe for success the last time they played the Stags. They were only 2 for 6 from inside the 3-point line in the first quarter, but they went 3 of 7 from deep and hit 6 free throws. So I think that it kind of couples together with, if you go and get to the line and generate free throws. I mean, against Niagara, they went 3 for 4 from inside, but then had 9 free throws. That was half of their 18 first quarter points in that game. So even if you are able to just generate shots inside, you might not make them, but if you can at least get to the line and get players in foul trouble early, especially against Fairfield, penetrate the defense early on and try to create those open looks from behind the arc later on in the game as well to get players going.
And the Bobcats take advantage on the free throw line too. The men's team obviously does not, which we've seen, but the women's team, they for sure make those free throws, which is a huge thing.
Seems like you guys are all on the same page. Attack the basket, find some success. Well, the Stags also play their 16th conference game of the season on Thursday, making the trip down to Emmitsburg, Maryland to face off against the Mount. After losing to Quinnipiac, Fairfield has responded with 3 straight wins. The Mount also coming into this one winners of their last 2 games. just 45 seconds in. You cannot leave Megan Anderson that wide open in the corner. She drills a three, and then a minute later, Jillian Herder knocks one down from distance. It's 6-0 Stags. Then the first quarter, peep the ball movement here from the Stags. Milo Van Velt buries the triple. It's 17-5 Fairfield at the end of one. Mount trying to keep up the pace. Nyodine Girard on the fast break, drives to the basket and gets it to go. It's a 10-point game, but the Stags were just in control of this game from the jump. Lambro rips a pass to the corner to Christina Pham. Got some green eggs and ham. It's 23-11 Fairfield. Banks always open for Zaria Harlow here. She gets a shot to go, and just like that, it's 31-17 Fairfield at the half. Lambro has some trouble with the ball here on this pass, but regains possession, drains another three. It's a 20-point lead for the Stags going into the fourth, and they continue the momentum. Anderson finding Lambro on the backdoor cut. She sticks the reverse layup, 59-33 Fairfield, and puts all on the wound. Pham hits the final three-pointer of the night. 16 made threes for Fairfield in the win. They take it 69-43. The Stags connect 4 in a row behind 17 from Anderson. Quick look at the MAC standings. Quinnipiac remains in first place, still undefeated in conference play. Fairfield sits just a game behind them in second. They've won 4 straight. Merrimack is the only other team with more than 10 conference wins. They sit in third. Sacred Heart and Siena are the last 2 teams who've clinched postseason berths. Both teams are 9-6. Iona, DeMount, and Marist round out the top 8. Only 2 weeks remain in the regular season before playoff seeding solidifies. Well, a large part of the Bobcats' success has been captain Jackie Grisdale. She's averaging just under 13 points a game in her 5th season in Hamden, and Q30's Brittany Brown-Leben walked the court with the Ohio native to get to know her away from the game.
Hi guys, I'm Brittany Brown-Leben, and I'm doing alongside captain of the women's basketball team, Jackie Grisdale, and we're going to talk about things and walk the basketball court. So Jackie, everyone knows you as the captain of the women's basketball team, but besides playing basketball, what do you do for fun?
Okay, so I love to bake. Cookies are like probably my go-to thing, but I also love a good cupcake, a good cake, a good pie, stuff like that. And probably even more fun than actually baking things or eating the things that I bake. It's a major sweet tooth. So definitely that. I also really enjoy reading. Yeah, I'd say those 2 are probably my main things. Oh, and traveling, but those 3.
Gotcha. You said you like reading. What's your favorite book currently?
Currently favorite book? It's a great question. Goodness. Okay, so this is gonna be like a throwback classic, but it just has like reigned true as my favorite, the Harry Potter series. Like, big Harry Potter fan. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Universal and been to the Harry Potter land?
I haven't, but it's on my bucket list.
Gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha. So obviously you grew up in Ohio, now you're in Connecticut. What's something that you do that you can only do in Ohio that you really enjoy when you go back home?
Oh gosh, I feel like this is gonna be a bad answer, but the food at home is amazing.
No, it's
like,
fair.
The pizza here is great, and I've learned to love the Connecticut pizza, but pizza at home has like a thick crust, and like the sauce is different, and I love home pizza. And also ice cream, like there's lots of great ice cream spots around here, but there's a place called Handles at home. Anytime I'm home, I'm going like once or twice, even if I'm home for 3 or 4 days, like I'm getting Handles.
What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate raspberry truffle is the Handles flavor. But I love a good fruity and chocolate mix. So that's what I'm looking for at any place.
That's fair. When you're in Connecticut, besides, playing basketball with your teammates, what's something fun you do on the weekends?
Food runs, shopping, those are big. Love just a good adventure. We've done escape rooms before, and I know Ella Ryan and I were talking about going back to another escape room soon. So hopefully that soon.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Escape rooms are a fun time, especially great team bonding.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
When you're on campus, what's your go-to order at the Rat?
I've actually never been to the Rat.
You've never been to the Rat?
I've only lived on York Hill, so I
fair.
never had a reason to be on main campus that late at night.
No, that's fair. So do you enjoy the York Hill pizza?
I do, yeah. And again, I'm gonna get hate on this. Chicken and broccoli is my go-to. Then I get my proteins, my vegetables, my carbs, all in one pizza. It's great. I would recommend trying it.
Do you get it with marinara sauce on
Yes.
the chicken? Okay.
Yes.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fun
It's
a fun
good.
topic. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Jackie, what's your favorite movie to watch?
I'm not a huge movie person.
Do you like TV shows though?
I do like TV shows.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm rewatching right now for the 3rd time. It's called White Collar. It's one of my favorites. Also a big fan of a little comedy mystery called Psych. Those 2 are up there. What else? Oh, I'm also watching Modern Family right now. Loving it.
I love Modern Family. Yes,
it's great.
Do you have a favorite pregame ritual that you do before every basketball game that gets you hyped up and ready to play?
Oh gosh, I'm really superstitious, so I keep my routines to a T. Like the way I put on my shoes, the time I get taped, the time I do contrast bats, what I eat. I'll eat like half an energy gel 30 minutes before the game, finish it at halftime. Like every little thing I have planned out. So nothing super fun, but I'm definitely routine oriented. Looking forward to more.
What's one thing that no one knows about you?
I ate a live termite in Costa Rica once. Yeah, I was on like a little trip, and our tour guide was like, "Oh yeah, here's some termites in this tree. Put your hand out." And he's like, "Just toss it in, bite down right away." I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm in Costa Rica. I've got to try it." So the termite got tapped out on my hand, popped it in, crunched it. Honestly, it didn't taste that bad. It was like a pine nut. But
Oh, okay, that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
That's
So
nice.
that's a random fact.
That's a fun fact. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
And then Coach Fabbri, we love her. She's very energetic, has a lot of funny quotes. Do you have a favorite Fabbri quote or memory?
Oh my gosh, I cannot name just one. I feel like just like her jumping around and screaming anytime, like after a big win. Those are what comes to mind. She has so many good quotes though. Like it would be hard to name all of them.
Well, thank you, Jackie, for joining me. And that's all we have from Lender Court. Tune into Bobcat Game Day after this commercial break.
Owen, when you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life, and I am so proud to call you my son.
Do you enjoy debating Quinnipiac sports?
That's all flash, no cash. She didn't net it in the back of the net. That's not even a goal.
What are you doing pulling out rhymes?
Brady, that's like a crossover with a missed layup.
Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you, with debate, analysis, and so much more.
Mate Marinov. He is good, but oh man, is he bad. And
that team is amazing. How do you not put Fairfield women's volley?
Tune in to Bobcat Breakdown every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. on Q30TV.com/watch.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine. But if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back to Bobcat Game Day. Glad you're sticking with us. In the first matchup between Quinnipiac and Fairfield this season, the Bobcats' defense shined the brightest, holding the Stags to 58 points. That's 20 lower than their season average. Naffah, what does Fairfield need to do differently in this game?
Yeah, for the Stags, I think the biggest thing is getting to the free throw line more. We kind of talked about it in that first question with the women's basketball team for Quinnipiac, but I think for Fairfield, they need to make those chances too. They went 3 for 9, and Janelle Brown in particular, 1 for 7. She's around a 65% free throw shooter. That's not going to happen again going 1 for 7. They average around 12 attempts a game as a team. They need to get to the line more and convert on those chances to have a better chance against these Bobcats. And they also have to shoot better from 3 and get better looks. They went 5 for 22. They really struggled there. They make 12 threes a game on average. So I just think that all around, getting to the free throw line and making their threes are the biggest things for this one.
And this is a team that shoots 38% from 3, like, overall in the season, not just in conference play. So statistically, they're gonna shoot better. They were 1 for 9 in the first half before it got kind of out of hand. And so, yeah, for me, it's the three-point shooting entirely. If you're going to get to the line, it'll be helpful, but you need to make three-pointers to stay in games with this Quinnipiac team.
I couldn't agree more with you guys on the offensive aspect, but defensively as well, they have to lock down Ella O'Donnell. She had 19 points last game, and she just took fully control. They could not stop her no matter what they were doing, whether it was she was down low, they'd foul her and make the bucket, and she got a couple and ones, sent her to the line. She was almost perfect, if not. And then you got to limit the Quinnipiac bench. Karson Martin went off that game too, so offensively, I totally agree on the shooting aspect, but defensively, it's Karson Martin, Ella O'Donnell, and probably Ella Foley, who's probably feeling herself after hitting 1,000 points today.
Yeah, and I think for Quinnipiac, they kind of controlled the pace of the game the last time they played against Fairfield. So when the Stags were trying to mount the comeback, Bobcats slowing things down, making sure to keep their composure. And also in the three-point shooting, Quinnipiac's the second best team in the MAC in terms of opponent three-point shooting, under 28% per game.
Right.
Fairfield was still worse than that. in that matchup. So I agree with you, Thomas, that you just expect them to regress towards the mean.
I'm curious just to see how Fabbri runs them off the three-point line again, because at Fairfield they got no open looks. So if they are able to run them off the free throw line and make them, pump fake, get into the paint, they're almost okay with that because you're not letting Fairfield, who have 5 of the top 10 three-point shooters in the MAC, shoot threes. So you're trying to get these players off the three-point line. That's what Fabbri's game plan is.
Safe to say whoever's going to win this game is going to have to perform well at the three-point line, and we'll see how they attack Ella O'Donnell. Fairfield guard Jillian Herder's last name might ring a bell if you're a basketball fan. Her older brother Kevin is in his 9th season in the NBA, and her other siblings played collegiate basketball as well. Q30's Josh August has the story on the Herder family.
In what started at Shenendehowa High School in Clifton Park, New York, it's rare to find all the Herders under one roof. But when they were, it led to a whole lot of success.
It's been awesome to have such great role models who know what I'm going through, have done it themselves, and know so much about basketball, and growing up being able to play basketball with them. So it's been great to have such great role models.
Her and I can resonate with growing up in a basketball family. We have talked about that. You obviously learned so much from your family, her siblings, her dad played. There's similarities in our. I don't have an NBA sibling. My brother, no diss to my brother, but I think you learn lessons along the way. It's always nice to have kind of a built-in sounding board.
With all the time that Herder has spent with her family, she has one moment that stands out in particular.
First or second year in Atlanta, we all went down to visit, and we were walking around some park in Atlanta, and we found a basketball court, and there was a basketball there, and we hadn't played basketball with each other in a little bit because we're playing every day for college and for high school teams, and Kevin in the NBA, so we hadn't played with my family in a while, and we just started playing 2-on-2, 1-on-1s, any basketball game just for fun in this random park. And I feel like it was just fun to reminisce on growing up, always playing against my siblings, and with my dad coaching us and my mom watching and cheering us on.
Out of the 3 siblings that played Division I basketball, including one in the NBA, she talks about which one has meant the most to her.
To all my siblings a lot. I think one that I got to see on a deeper level was my sister. I played with her. She was only 1 year older than me in high school. So, being able to play with her, see the leader she is, and the captain of our basketball team growing up, and how she would play and make others better. I think it was just great to be able to play alongside her as well as, get to experience it as her teammate.
Look for Herder to be a key contributor in the Stags contest versus the Bobcats. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Josh August.
Good stuff, Josh. 2 dynamic players have helped the Stags earn 15 conference wins, and that would be Megan Anderson and Katie Lamro, both of which are averaging over 15 points a game. Brady, what impact do they bring to this Stags team?
Yeah, as you just mentioned, Lamro averaging over 18 points a game. She leads the MAC. She also leads the MAC in assists per game at 4.5, and then she has 2.5 steals per game. She's leading the MAC. If you're leading the MAC in those 3 statistics, you're a pretty good basketball player, especially in this competitive conference. So Lamro, absolute dog. And then at the second punch of the 1-2 punch, Anderson, 3rd in the MAC for scoring, and also just over 44% from 3 in the MAC. 2nd in the MAC as well, so it's hard to stop those 2.
And with Anderson, it's with volume. She's shooting 7 3-point attempts per game. She's just floating the perimeter, waiting for a catch and shoot, and it's lethal because you also have Jillian Herder on the other side, so it's a lot of dribble penetration and kick to these great 3-point shooters from Lamro, and that's why she leads the MAC in assists.
40% per game from deep on 7 shots. That's a huge sample
size.
That's
Hauser numbers.
It is a great sample size and great production there from Anderson. But Lamro, like you said, Brady, all-around player, can score, can facilitate, can play defense, just a true two-way star, and arguably the best player in the conference. 37.8% from deep as well. So up close to 40% for her. She scored in double digits in all but 2 MAC games versus Canisius, and then the last game they played at Mount St. Mary's. The thing was, last time against Quinnipiac, only 10 points, 2 for 2 from the line. I think that for Lamro, getting to the line more and playing more of that facilitator plus scorer role against Quinnipiac is the biggest thing today.
Yeah, and if those 3-pointers aren't hitting, like you just said, that's when you have to start driving. As we talked about in the break, only 2 Stags took free throws for Fairfield. So if you got to get more people to the line, whether that's driving, kicking. But if they shoot as poorly as they did for the 3-point line, they have to get drive That's when she can kick it. That's when she can draw the foul. Something has to go for them.
Very interested to see how Lamro and Anderson are guarded by the Bobcats today, but we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Q30's Patrick McGugan sits down with Trisha Fabbri and her guards to play a little game of who's more likely to. Plus, the guys will break out the hammers for some over-under. Brady, I know you are pumped for that.
Oh, I just can't wait. I'm going to try not to hit Thomas in the head.
We'll be right back on Bobcat Game Day.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Reporting from the Grove for Q30 News.
Reporting from the Miller Library for Q30 News.
Reporting from the Mount Carmel campus for Q30 News.
Reporting on Whitney Ave for Q30 News.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Back here for Bobcat Game Day, Q30's Patrick McGugan sat down with head coach Trisha Fabbri and guards Karson Martin and Paige Girardi to play a little game of who's more likely to. You're not going to want to miss this.
Thanks, guys. We are here with women's basketball head coach Trisha Fabbri alongside Karson Martin and Paige Girardi. Today we're doing who's more likely scenarios. All right, so Coach Fabbri,
Yes.
First question, who's more likely to forget their best friend's birthday?
Oh, I would go Karson Martin.
And why?
I think she just is a little free soul and is always like, oh, that's happening. Sounds great.
Do you guys agree or disagree?
I mean, yeah. I agree. I agree. No, I agree. She's spot on.
Okay.
I'm not dumb, though.
No, not at all. And if it actually, maybe it should have been me because I forget everybody's birthday.
Well, that's the same for me. It probably is.
Honestly, it would be me. I don't know anyone's birthday.
Who is more likely to survive a zombie apocalypse?
Oh my God. Well, I would go not me. For one, I would be scared to death and just be done. I would think I would put Paige in there. I think she's a warrior with the ball and she takes great care of it. So I think she would be able to survive that zombie apocalypse.
All right, who's more likely to perform a Super Bowl halftime show?
Oh my gosh. Well, this is what I would say. Karson Martin would be able to get up there with Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, that's good.
And then,
I'd be starstruck.
And then Paige would be up there with her Swiftie.
Yes,
Taylor Swift.
so good.
And I think it would be a great halftime show. So.
Yeah, wow.
That would be a great halftime.
You and Morgan open, me and Tay will close.
Yes, but then you also have to be up there. Paige, fun fact,
I'm
can
excited.
do like a,
Oh my
what's it
God,
called?
wolf turn. You know, like
wolf
in
turn in gymnastics?
Gymnastics, what Simone Biles did.
She can
when it was the Summer Olympics, they really
she's
wanted to see it.
squatted on one leg all the
can't
way
do it
to
right
the
now.
ground and can spin in circles.
It's really impressive. Yeah, we have videos of it, so if we want to insert that somewhere.
Insert gloves.
Yes, yes. Me doing a wolf turn. Jackie was really impressed with that.
I was, yeah,
Thank
no.
you.
And so would the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Taylor would be.
Who's more likely to be overly competitive at a family game night?
Ooh.
You. You. Just say yourself.
What was that one game?
Yes, it's been we've had some great rounds on family vacations, and truly my motto is if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yep.
So
She loves that one.
I literally, we get very cutthroat. We have a lot of fun, but we all play to win.
All right. Now, Pat Kramer, he did say you for that question.
Yeah.
So he was
Yes. Thanks,
Good
Pat.
job.
I thank you. I'm validated now.
Did you
I appreciate
answer
it.
all these questions?
I might have.
Ooh, that's great.
I gotta know.
Now, last question. Who's more likely to have the best game day fit?
I go, what?
It's not me, and it's okay. It's not me, and it's okay.
Really?
Either one of you two.
They're, again, I know it's either
No.
They're both beautiful young ladies.
Thank you, Coach.
I think Karson has got a little, like, look at me. I'm the face of this business that I've started, and I am going to show up and dressed for success.
Yeah.
Okay.
Karson Martin.
100%.
Thank you. I
We
appreciate
also
that.
you.
I was thinking
I
Coach
do
too.
agree.
The power suits are like
Yes. The leather
the
jacket
greatest thing
yesterday.
ever. It's so good.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Are you
that.
doing any Valentine's special tomorrow with the outfit?
That
you
would
need
be
to.
good. You have to.
You have to. She's like,
We're
I have to
wearing,
go to
we're
the
wearing
store
pink
after
shoes
this.
for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I'm unsure. It's gonna be a wait and see.
Okay.
Oh,
pink-
teasing tomorrow.
Yes.
A pink or
Yeah.
red
Pink
lip.
Ooh.
Not red, but a big pink lip tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, pink.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all from us here in the bank. Sending it back to the studio. Ben, take it away.
Thanks, Patrick. Now it's time for a Bobcat Game Day staple. Over under. Time to grab those hammers, guys. We heard from Grisdale earlier in the show, but I want to know if you think she'll finish the regular season averaging over or under 13.4 points per game. Naffah, what are you thinking on this one?
So for me, I have to go with the under here. I'm always an over type of guy with these segments, but I have to go under here. Grisdale would have to average roughly 15 points per game the rest of the season. The depth might be too good to get to that much. I just think too many other people are going to score as well to take away from hers.
I don't know. I'm going to have to, let me get the hammer out here. I'm going to have to go over 13.4. They have 4 games left. She's currently averaging 12.8. But 2 of those games are against the bottom teams in the MAC. We got Canisius and Niagara. She's going to catch fire those 2 games. I got a good feeling. I'm going to go with the over.
And I'm going to follow you. I'm going over as well. She's shooting under 10 attempts from the field her last couple games and 5 from 3. Like you said, some bottom feeder teams in the MAC. She's a grad student. Like, we're getting down to the end of her career here at Quinnipiac. I think she's going to gain a little more confidence and really shoot the ball well. Maybe a 20, 25-point performance against one of these bottom feeder teams, and that's going to help her get over.
Personally, going under. They could rest her at the end of the season. You never know. But the Bobcats, they're averaging over 8 made threes a game, which is the second most in the conference. First year, Ella Ryan knocked down 50 threes on the season, but she did go 0 for 4 for 3 against Siena. With 4 more games to play, will she finish over 62.5 made threes? TC, we're going to start with you.
I'm going over again. Let's do it. She shoots 2 for 5 per game, roughly. She's been a little cold these last few games, but again, more confidence in this one game against Fairfield. Say she goes out and hits 3 or 4 threes, then she just needs, let's do some quick math, 8 threes to get to 62 and 9 to get to 63. So I'm going over for Ella Ryan on 3-pointers made.
And I'm just going to cut you off here, Naffah. I'm going with it, too.
Okay.
TC and I interlinked today.
I love the over.
Took the words right out of my mouth. She's going to catch fire.
I have the under for this one as well. So most 3-pointers made against the MAC opponent is 4. She needs to average that plus 1 more to get to that point at the end of the regular season. I don't see her doing that. She need to have 4 threes a game. She hasn't done that. I don't see her getting to that number again. So I'm going to go with the under once again.
Okay.
Taking out the hammer. We're going to take over it there. Right. The Bobcats have the best scoring defense in the conference, only allowing 52 points a game. Brady, do you think they finish the season with a defensive scoring average more or less than 50 points?
Totally more. I'm going with the over 50 points per game. They're currently at just under 52. 3rd in the nation, might I add. And the number 1 team in the nation for that is UConn. And they're 50.3. And UConn, they're 25-0. And they've held opponents to less than 40 points 4 times this season. So if they're not below 50, no one's going below 50. I have to go with the over on this one.
And I know we're talking about math this whole segment. I'm not going to do the whole math, but they're going to have to keep opponents under 40 points per game these next 4. And they play Fairfield today. That's just not going to happen. Mathematically, this is absurd. I'm going over.
Yeah, if you want the math, 207 points combined against Fairfield, Sacred Heart, Niagara, and Canisius the last time. They have to allow less than 154 over these final 4 games. Exactly. I'm taking the over. I'm using the hammer for the first time. Over.
Join us.
I think it's unanimous. We're hitting the over. On Fairfield's side, outside of Lamro and Anderson, who have both averaged more than 15 points a game, the Stags have two players averaging over 8 a game, and that's Herder and Cyan Ko. Will they have over or under 3.5 players averaging 10 plus a game? Thomas, back at you.
The top two are gimmies.
Yep.
Lamro and Anderson absolutely going to over 8. Herder hasn't scored less than 8 points since the new year. That's 2.5 months. So I think you can kind of mark her down for over 8. When you look at Ko, she needs the volume down low. But like we mentioned at the top of the show, they need to get inside and to start the game before they start shooting threes. So maybe Ko is there, and she's going to be a really big piece to this Fairfield team down the stretch. I'm again going over on this. I'm
going to leave the hammer. I'm going to leave the hammer down. There's 4 players. If they get to 4 players, they need 2 players. You're expecting 152 points combined between Herder and Brown over the last 4 games. I made sure to check the math. You need 66 points from Herder, 86 from Ko. Even for a team averaging 78 points per game in the MAC, you're expecting a lot of scoring outside of Lamro and Anderson. I don't see it doing. I'm taking the under.
This guy's got a math degree over here.
You tried
wow.
it.
I'm exactly with him there, TC. You're not Tom Pecor, Tom Curtis. I'm going with the under as well. I just don't see it happening out of those two.
Yeah, I think I'll side with Naffah Brady under. Lastly, the Stags have been knocking down threes at a high clip this season. They're averaging just over 12 a game. The line we have for you guys is over or under 13.2 made threes per game. Naffah, finish us out strong.
I'll keep it quick. In order to get to that over, they would need 19 three-pointers made per game. That's not happening. Hammer the under.
I'm going to go under as well. Look, they've shot under 30% in 3 out of the last 5 games. That trend's probably going to continue. It's probably going to snowball into something. I'm not seeing them hitting that mark.
Yeah, we talked about Fabbri running them off the 3-point line. It's pretty much impossible for them to go over this line. Let's all go under.
Yeah. Simple enough. I'll ride with everyone else. While the 4 of us are going to be off the air during the game, you can stay right here and catch the QBSN radio broadcast. Our broadcasters, Patrick McGugan and Zachary Stokinger, are here to give us a preview on what to expect in this one. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, guys. Welcome inside M&T Bank Arena for this Valentine's matchup between the Quinnipiac Bobcats and the Fairfield Stags. I'm Patrick McGugan alongside Zach Stokinger. Now, Zach, Megan Anderson has been on a kick for the Stags. She's had about 20 points a game, and one of them was a 40-pointer versus Marist the other week. What does she need to do to knock off Quinnipiac and give them their first loss in conference play today?
Well, Patrick, I think she just needs to make sure that she keeps herself in the moment. She needs to make sure she's doing all the fundamentals, all the stuff that's led her to this streak. She, past couple games we talked about it, averaging to almost 20 points per game over this past stretch since the Bobcats last played Fairfield a couple weeks ago. So getting herself in the right situations, getting herself the shots that she knows she can make will ultimately get her going today.
Another big story coming into this game was the bigs matchup. Ella O'Donnell for the Bobcats, Cyan Ko for the Stags. Who do you think is going to prevail in that matchup, and how will those 2 players lead to a win for either team today?
I think whoever's going to prevail today is the player that provides the most energy for the team. This is a highly intense game. It's a rivalry. It's one of the best matchups in the MAC so far this season. We saw that first one on January 29th. It was one of the best games the MAC's had all year. So whoever can provide the most energy, this stadium will be significant. It's going to be loud. It's going to be an intense environment, and whoever exudes that energy, that intensity, is really going to prevail for either team today.
The Bobcats have been on a 3-game streak with a slow first quarter. How important is it for them to stop that, have a strong first quarter in this game?
Well, we go back to January 29th. The Bobcats had a good start. They wanted to make sure they had to have a good start because Fairfield is that good of a team. Even if you have a good start, Fairfield can always find its way back into the games. They have Katie Lamoureux. They got Megan Anderson, 2 guards that can shoot it. So for the Bobcats, you just have to make sure you go back to your fundamentals. You go back to your plays. You don't let those first quarter jitters get to you. And that's going to be key to a Bobcats victory today.
Well, that's all from us here in the bank. Tune in live on Bobcat Game Day. Tip-off is at 4 p.m. Stay with us. Now we are headed to commercial.
Everyone has a ritual. That small thing we do to keep us focused.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game?
To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health.
Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need to keep your mental health a priority. Love your mind.
Here at Sports Pause, we like to have balance between having fun and working hard. Sometimes that competition we cover gets into our producing.
Tune in every Monday night at 9:30 at q30tv.com/watch for all the news, highlights, and more. This is Sports Pause.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Welcome back to Bobcat Game Day. We're getting closer and closer to round 2 of this Connecticut rivalry game. Coming into this week, Fairfield received 4 votes in the AP Top 25 rankings, despite having that one conference loss to QU earlier this season. Whether it's national ranking or forcing a tiebreaker scenario for Atlantic City, there's a lot at stake in this matchup. TC, who needs the win more today?
Quinnipiac wins this game. They have the inside track to the 1 seed, which is the first time they've done that since Fairfield's big run these last couple of years. I can't speak. But a 1 seed in this MAC tournament against a team like Fairfield that gets national votes. This is a team that's competed on the national stage multiple times. That gives them all the confidence in the world. For me, it's got to be Quinnipiac.
I think that I'd go with Fairfield for the exact opposite reason. Quinnipiac's already shown that it can beat Fairfield already this season. And they showed it once, yes. But it builds momentum towards the MAC tournament for Fairfield, even if they don't end up with the 1 through the tiebreaker scenarios. They have the confidence that they can beat the best team in the conference. And I think that with Fairfield, it's been a dynasty for the last few years in the conference. This is the first time they've really, truly been tested in recent years for a MAC regular season title. I think that if they can beat the Bobcats in M&T Bank Arena, that's a bigger statement than if Quinnipiac just sweeps Fairfield.
And I'm going to go neither. I think both teams are going to benefit greatly no matter what. Fairfield, 2 losses against Quinnipiac is demoralizing, especially this big of a loss. And to prove themselves with the win that the MAC is theirs, and it was just a fluke when the Bobcats went to Fairfield. But I think for Quinnipiac, it's, like you said, huge momentum for the Cats. They haven't beat them twice in the regular season in a long time.
It's hard to beat people in three times in 1 year, too, as well.
Men's basketball Iona last year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see maybe some more national poll voting for whoever wins this game. But besides the spotlight game here in Hamden, there are 5 other games happening around the conference this afternoon, all of them in progress. Let's take a quick look around the MAC to see how those matchups are going so far. First, the Marist Red Foxes taking on the Rider Broncs on their home court. It was back and forth, and in the first quarter, the Broncs would pull away in the second, and they just never looked back after that, as they'd go on to win with a final score of 56-43. We'll head over to New Rochelle. Niagara takes on the Iona Gales on Iona's senior day. The Purple Eagles looking to play upset as they would go into the half, 27-25. But Niagara, it wouldn't matter because the Gales came out on top, a final score of 72-55. They really turned it around in that second half. The Canisius Golden Griffins took on the Manhattan Jaspers in Riverdale, New York, as the Jaspers defended home court well in the final minutes of the game, looking like Manhattan will finish that one out with a win as well. And heading over to North Andover, Massachusetts, the Saints took on the Warriors, and the Warriors handed the Saints another loss, winning by over 20 points with 3 to go. Finally, rounding out the MAC games today, St. Peter's hosted the Sacred Heart Pioneers in a 2 p.m. matchup. Sacred Heart slipped away with a close win at the end. Well, we looked around the MAC. Let's bring it back here. We're getting closer to tip-off. Brady, I got to know, who you got, Fairfield, Quinnipiac?
I'm going to go Quinnipiac. I think there's a lot of energy in this game right now, especially in a packed arena at M&T Bank Arena. I think this is Quinnipiac's game today.
Yeah, I think it's Quinnipiac's game to lose. I'm right there with him. They've got the momentum with a win at Fairfield. They've been here at the bank. They didn't have to go anywhere. It's Quinnipiac's game to lose for me.
So for me, I'm going to go with Fairfield. The best players typically win in the biggest games, and I still think Fairfield probably has the 2 best players in the conference. They were the favorites going into the year for a reason. You look at the last game. the Stags, they have a better season margin in terms of scoring, but Fairfield only shot 5 for 22 from 3. You don't expect that again. And Quinnipiac went 9 for 21, 42.9% from behind there. You don't expect that. 37 from Martin O'Donnell combined. Yeah. That negates Grisdale only having 3. You don't expect 37 from both of them. You don't expect Grisdale to just have 3. I just think that you're going to see a game that's a little bit closer to the average, and I'm going to take Fairfield in the close one.
Naffah, even Superman has a kryptonite, and it's for Fairfield, it's the Bobcats.
I think it's the opposite. I think the kryptonite for the Bobcats is the Stags.
But obviously, you said the Stags were the favorites, so they'd be the Superman. So then the kryptonite is the Bobcats.
Well, Superman usually ends up winning anyways.
Well, guys, I got news for you. The desk is split right down the middle. Quinnipiac territory, Fairfield territory. I just think this Fairfield Stags team is too good to lose to the Bobcats twice in the regular season. It's going to set up another great MAC championship game. If you guys had to pick, though, on the Quinnipiac side, a player that's going to have the biggest impact for a potential Quinnipiac win, who would you guys go? Brady starts off.
I'm going to go Ella Ryan. The first year, shot the lights out pretty well against Fairfield in Fairfield, so I think she's going to continue to do that today, and she's going to hit that over that.
How many threes do you guys have for Ryan?
Ryan, I'll go 5 threes.
5
She's
threes?
going to feel herself today.
I had Ryan over 62.5, so you got to think she's going to play well. And then Grisdale over 13.5 points a game for me, so she's going to have to play really well if I want that to hit. But I really do like the look that she gives coming off the three-point line and also into the mid-range. It's not as much just like Ella Ryan is sitting behind the perimeter.
All right, well, I feel bad if I didn't give Zach Naffah a chance to talk about who his impact player is for Fairfield. So
even though he already did.
For Fairfield, I'm going to have to go with Lamro. Well, for Quinnipiac, I gave my impact player. Lamro is it for the Stags because she is the best player in the conference, in my opinion, hands down. I don't think there's too much of a contest there. And I just think that you got to recover. Only 10 points last time, which still double digits, but she didn't play as well as she has in comparison to the rest of the season. I think Lamro is the X factor for the Stags. For the Bobcat side, like you said, I think Grisdale is the biggest one. I mentioned she only had 3 points the last time these teams played. I think that if she wants to reach that over 13 points per game, she's going to have a big one. You can't just have 3 points against the Stags. That'll just about sink that entirely. I think Grisdale is going to be one to look out for because now the Stags are going to be more focused on Karson Martin and Ella O'Donnell. That might help Grisdale and Ella Ryan, as you both mentioned, get a few more looks.
I'm going to take Megan Anderson for Fairfield. And I think a name we haven't discussed so far is Anna Foley. I think we got to talk about Anna Foley a little bit, especially coming off that 1,000-point career getting scored the other night. I think she could play a big impact on this game today.
And I know Janelle Brown isn't having the best season, but I think she's someone to look out for. Someone falling a little bit under the radar this year for the Stags in comparison to the top-tier stars.
I should have known who you were going with, wearing the red shirt.
He does have the red tie on.
Giving it all away. I got to be dressed for the occasion.
Well, anyways, great stuff, guys. That's going to do it for our pregame coverage in studio. As always, we'll be right back here at halftime to check out those highlights and discuss key takeaways from the first half. We're just set for tip-off, so we're going to throw it over to Pat and Zach, who are at M&T Bank Arena with the call. Guys, take it away.
Rematch we have on Valentine's Day, featuring the 21-4 Fairfield Stags and the 21-4 Quinnipiac Bobcats. During their first matchup, Quinnipiac beat Fairfield on the road 72-58. Since that game, neither team has lost. Bobcats remain undefeated, 16-0 in conference play, while the Stags' only blemish on their conference record was delivered by Quinnipiac. Now, Zach, let's talk about the implications of this game. Whoever wins is almost guaranteed the #1 seed for the MAC tournament. How important is that?
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry, it's a very loud environment here, everybody, but Patrick, it is crucial for both of these teams to get a win today. Fairfield has gotten to the Bobcats number multiple times when they're in a seed. And you got bragging rights and you got the confidence that you can go out and beat the best team in the MAC. So heading into Atlantic City, knowing you either swept or you've been able to beat the best team in the MAC, winning it is so crucial, and that's what's at stake today.
The Bobcats have not swept the Stags since 2022. Now, what do the Stags need to fix from last game to have a better chance of winning today?
Well, I think they have to continue to play their game, Patrick. I think just how the game went last time out, the Bobcats just got an advantage. They were able to capitalize on some little mistakes and just shoring it up. Playing fundamental basketball, playing Stag basketball will ultimately help the Stags today. And then on the other side for the Bobcats, you know what works, but you also know what didn't. And you got to make sure you can capitalize on your own mistakes and learn from it. I think the Bobcats today, they've got backing of a huge crowd tonight, lots of fans in the stands. Use that energy, quell it, and it will probably ultimately help them tonight.
Now, for the Stags, a major story has been Megan Anderson. She has been on a hot streak, scoring almost 20 points a game since playing Quinnipiac. One of them, she had a 40-piece against Marist about a week ago. So the Stags are looking for her to stay hot and show up when they need her the most. For Quinnipiac, starting for their bigs is Ella O'Donnell. She has been very good, very consistent the entire year. She'll be going up against Cyan Coe, the big for the Stags. Tip-off is seconds away. The atmosphere is cranked high here in the bank. Here's tip-off. The Bobcats win it, and Paige Girardi will take it up the court. She swings it to Sydney Ryan to Ella Ryan. Ella Ryan on the near side goes to the top of the key to Grisdale. Grisdale swings to Sydney Ryan. Ryan goes to Girardi on the far side. That one poked away by Sydney. Scott will remain with the Bobcats. 13 seconds left on the shot clock. You can feel the intensity, can't you, Zach?
Yeah, it's very interesting, Patrick. As you were saying, the intensity is quelling. It immediately gets quiet. Everybody at the stadium is on edge. These are two very close rivals. A lot of red in the stands, a lot of blue in the stands. It's going to be a very, very tight game.
Absolutely. Ella Ryan, three-pointer, dagger! Ella Ryan gets the party started for the Bobcats. They lead 3-0. Now on the flip side, it's Katie Lamoureux, point guard for the Stags. She's been in a bit of a funk since playing Quinnipiac. She's looking for a rebound day today. Cyan Coe gives it to Herder. Herder drives middle, guarded by Sydney Ryan. Ryan takes it away. Herder got it back. She flips it into Coe. Coe working against Ryan. She kicks it out. Lamoureux, three-pointer. She got it at the buzzer. We're all tied 3 apiece in hand.
That's exactly what the Fairfield Stags wanted to do. They wanted to get Lamoureux going. First shot, first three made. It's all tied up.
That's what the Bobcats did great last time. They matched everything the Stags threw at them. That's what the Stags are going to have to do today. O'Donnell has it at the three-point line. She's going to drive, working against Coe. Gets in the lane. Her layup is good. The Bobcats up 5-3. Herder down the court. Quick three for Anderson. That won't go. Rebound by Coe. Back to Anderson. Anderson to Herder. Now in the hands of Lamoureux in the far corner. She drives, working against Grisdale. Another three for Anderson. That one won't go. Rebound O'Donnell. And the Bobcats are out and running. Girardi Working now against Lamoureux at the top of the key. Girardi drives right, swings it back to Ella Ryan. Ella Ryan against Herder. She drives. Layup by Ryan won't go, but she draws the foul.
Textbook right there. Ella Ryan in isolation, drives the lane, gets the foul. The Bobcats now have an opportunity to go up 4.
It's going to really come down to, it's easy to say scoring, but I think defense.
Absolutely.
Who's going to match the defensive intensity and take it to the next level? That's the big question on everyone's minds. Ella Ryan, her first one from the charity stripe is good.
Patrick, the Bobcats overall are the better team on defense. They're leading the MAC in total defense so far this year. So if it comes down defensively, I think the Bobcats have an advantage. But they're also going up against the top offensive team in the Stags, and they also have the biggest win margin in the conference at 20 points. Exactly.
Great insight. Now, Ella Ryan's second shot was good. She drops it down to Cyan Coe. Her layup is good. It's 5-7. The Bobcats remain leading.
Patrick, we talked a little bit about the matchup between O'Donnell and Cyan Coe. It looks like Coe has the advantage early, getting a little slippery down low. She got past O'Donnell there.
Girardi has the ball. She drops it into O'Donnell, who's working against Coe. O'Donnell drives middle. She gets around. Her layup goes. O'Donnell 4 points already. Coe scored her first last possession. Lamoureux going against Grisdale. She flips it out to Scott. Scott now to Coe. Coe back to Scott. Scott into Anderson going against Girardi. Her layup won't go. Rebound O'Donnell. Girardi's got it and out and running. Girardi to O'Donnell. O'Donnell swings to Ella Ryan. Ella Ryan makes a move working against Herder. Now doubled. She drops it to her sister Sydney. Sydney into Ella. O'Donnell working against Coe. She drives inside. Looking for something, reverse left, that goes! O'Donnell owning the paint early for the Bobcats. And that one knocked away by Grisdale. It's going back to the Cats.
You can't take your eyes off any second of action, Patrick. Jackie Grisdale, one of the best guards in the country. There's a reason she's been the reason for that is she's not afraid of getting gritty. Just like that, take the steal away, Bobcats ball.
A huge defensive play for the Bobcats. Substitutions in for both teams. Anna Foley, who just got her 1,000th point last game against Siena. And in comes Karson Martin, leading the Bobcats in scoring. Martin, three-pointer. She made it, but an offensive foul called. That shot will not count. Offensive call goes against Foley. A moving screen. So now the Bobcats move to a two-big defense with O'Donnell and Foley. Foley takes it away from Brown. Girardi guarded by Brown. Brown, one of the Stags' most electric players. Now Karson Martin, doubled by Fairfield, going against Scott. She dribbles inside, outside drive, kick. That one won't go for Grisdale. Fairfield maintains possession. Anderson goes to Scott. Sydney Scott working against Anna Foley. This one out to Anderson, who makes a move. She drives inside. That layup won't go. Rebound O'Donnell. And O'Donnell has owned the glass defensively and offensively so far this game.
O'Donnell has just come out with an energy, Patrick. We talked about it a little bit in the pregame. That energy, her and Cyan Coe, big matchup, and who's going to bring the energy and the intensity? So far, it's been the forward out of Shankill, Ireland.
Grisdale tried a three, was called for a travel, so it will go to the Stags. In comes Maria Keeley for the Bobcats, taking O'Donnell out of the game.
Now, it's interesting to me, Patrick, that O'Donnell and Foley didn't start the game together. Typically, you may see a three-guard, two-forward lineup out of head coach Trish Fabbri, but not tonight. It's very interesting there. Maybe they just wanted to get a quicker matchup between O'Donnell and some other guards there. But it'll be interesting to see down the line.
Quite possibly. The Bobcats took it away from Lamoureux. Grisdale now swings it to Martin. Bobcats on offense. Sydney Ryan swings to Keeley. Keeley looking for something inside. She'll drive the lane. Throws to Foley. Foley's midi won't go. Rebound Anderson. Brown taking it up the floor. She swings it over to Valet. Her three won't go. Rebound Brown. Stags maintain possession. Anderson, 16 on the shot clock. Guarded by Grisdale. Now Brown. Over to Valet. Valet's three. No good. Rebound Martin. Now Keeley taken away by Lamoureux. Lamoureux 3-on-1. She pulls it out. Drops to Valet. It's denied! And a Foley from the back. Oh my goodness.
And a Foley. Blinking, you miss her. You know, she uses every part of that 6'3" Fame, Patrick, and a great block there. I don't even think she got a foul on that. What a defensive play for the Bobcats.
That'll bring up our first media timeout. The Bobcats leading 11-5 with 4:01 left in the quarter. We're going to take a short break, but stay with us on Bobcat Game Day. We'll be right back at the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bobcat Game Day. Welcome back to Hamden, Connecticut. If you're just joining us, the Bobcats lead 11-5 with 4:01 left in the first quarter. We talked about it in the pregame video. We talked about it in pregame before tip-off. The Bobcats needed to get off to a hot start. They've come out their last three games, haven't done a ton of scoring, missed a bunch of layups. O'Donnell absolutely took that narrative away and was putting a ton of shots in, beating Co offensively and defensively.
Absolutely, Patrick, and I honestly think it's because the Bobcats have been able to make that extra pass. Sometimes coaches want one more pass than necessary, and the Bobcats have really taken that philosophy well here today.
Now the Stags, offense, inbound to Anderson. That one taken away by O'Donnell. O'Donnell continues to dominate early.
We talked about it. It's in a high-intensity game. It's a rivalry game, and O'Donnell has exuded that intensity here today, Patrick. That's why the Bobcats are in the lead right now.
Absolutely. Now Martin, offensively for the Bobcats, working against Co. This one into O'Donnell, going against Valet. O'Donnell, mid-range. Won't go, rebound, Cyan Co. Lamoureux, out and running for the Stags. Guarded by Grisdale. This one, handoff to Anderson. Anderson goes to Van Valet. Van Valet drives, picked up by Sydney Ryan. Called for a travel, and this one is going back to the Bobcats.
Yeah, some early mistakes by this Fairfield team, Patrick. I mean, those kind of mistakes, those kind of the small ones, really built up last time in Fairfield, and it's looking kind of similar here tonight.
You mentioned it earlier, a lot of red in the stands, but definitely a lot of blue as well. A lot of social media posts pack the bank. A couple big hockey games as well going on right now. O'Donnell has it for the Bobcats. She swings to Martin. Martin looks into O'Donnell. She's going to get called for an offensive foul, and it will go back to the Stags.
That's an interesting call there, but again, it's just a high-intensity first quarter, Patrick. I mean, you talked about how they have had slow starts. I wasn't expecting this kind of start from this women's basketball team, and they've come out firing.
Absolutely.
I think the message that Coach Fabbri had in the locker room is to beat the ever-living breaks off the Fairfield Stags.
Sure looks like it from what we've seen so far. This one, Coe drives middle. O'Donnell guarded her, but it will go.
You can't leave that big of a gap wide open. It's Division I basketball, Patrick. Those players are going to capitalize on mistakes, and Coe made capitalize on O'Donnell's mistake right there.
Yep, two of the best mid-majors in the country going head-to-head. Sydney Ryan dumps it into O'Donnell. O'Donnell working against Coe, lining up a move. She drives. Denied by Coe. It will remain with the Bobcats. In comes Ella Ryan for Karson Martin. Girardi will take it out of bounds for the Bobcats. Into O'Donnell, still going against Coe. She swings it to Sydney Ryan. 4 on the shot clock. Ella Ryan taken away. It will remain with the Bobcats. 2 seconds will go back on the shot clock. Foley will check in for the Bobcats. Correction, there is 1 second on the shot clock. Bobcats will inbound.
I don't even know how you get this off, Patrick.
It's got to be something quick. Girardi into Grisdale. Grisdale, layup will go! What a play by the grad student.
That's exactly who you want to go to there, Patrick. She's gotten the Bobcats so many clutch baskets, and early in this game, that's a big one there.
Absolutely. Sydney Ryan working against Van Villay. This one picked up by Herder, working against Ella Ryan. She swings to Coe. Coe working against Foley. Coe into the paint. Foley denies her. Foley rebound. Girardi running out with it for the Bobcats. Girardi calls the play, picks up the dribble. Ella Ryan comes out to get it. Ryan swings to her sister. Sydney into Foley. Foley going against Scott. Foley's mid-range. That's money. The Bobcats up 15-7. Van Villay now will test against Foley. Foley can't deny her. Van Villay with a layup, making it 9:15. We are now under a minute to go. Girardi guarded heavily by Lamoureux. Lamoureux looking for a call. She won't get it. Girardi looking for something. Tried to go to Foley, taken away by Cyan Coe. Cyan Coe on the breakaway. Lamp won't go. Rebound Sydney Ryan out to Girardi. 38 seconds left. Sydney Ryan now going against Van Villay. Lines up the offense. Ella Ryan working against Scott. She dribbles in. Pulls up. Won't go. Rebound Herder. 23 seconds. Herder dribbles to the near side, guarded by Ella Ryan. Katie Lamoureux wanted a call, looked unintentional. Ella Ryan guarding Herder. Herder backing her down, mid-range, won't go, foul called. I don't know about that one.
I completely disagree with the ref's call there, Patrick. Clearly, Ryan had her hands in the air. That was a clean body contact there. But, you know, refs have to make calls, and that was a call that was made there. You can't. Bobcats will just have to capitalize in the last 3.1 seconds after these free throws.
Can't argue with the call. Herder's first shot is good. Shout out Josh August. He did a wonderful package on Herder and her brother who's in the NBA. Herder's second shot won't go. Rebound, Girardi, 2 seconds. She's just going to hold it. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. The Bobcats lead 15-10. High intensity first quarter. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us on Bobcat Game Day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on Bobcat Gameday. If you're just joining us, I'm Patrick McGugan alongside Zach Stokinger. The Bobcats are leading 15-10. Start of the second quarter is moments away. Cyan Coe leads scoring for the Stags with 4. O'Donnell leads scoring for the Bobcats with 6. Let's talk a little bit about the coaches. Coach Fabbri versus Coach Carley, a mid-major basketball rivalry that's been on display for multiple years now. What's this game going to come down to? Is it going to come down to execution? Is it going to come down to coaching and mid-game decision-making and adjustments?
That's exactly what's going to come down to, Patrick. These mid-game adjustments. Both these coaches, there's a reason that this is a rivalry. Both these coaches have great levels of execution. They get their players in the right situation. They educate their players. They give them scenarios that will always happen in a basketball game. They're two of the best coaches in the MAC, arguably the two best coaches in the MAC, and it's going to come down to who can get their players to execute the best at the end in clutch time.
The Bobcats take it away from Anderson.
I have to say, for Coach Fabbri today, Patrick, she's got on a very, very good outfit. One of the most fashionable coaches in the MAC.
Absolutely. Into Girardi, the Bobcats take away the Stags' first possession. Girardi going against Herder. Comes near side, handoff to Ella Ryan. Ryan working against Lamoureux. Ella Ryan, top of the key. Goes to Foley, guarded by Anderson. Foley dribbles left, trips. That one picked up by Ryan. Ella Ryan swings to Grisdale. Grisdale breaks the middle. Shot clock violation. The ball is going back to the Stags.
Not a good mistake to start off the second quarter, Patrick. I mean, the basketball is all about a game of momentum, and you can't be making those little mistakes. Those are mistakes that you can't, especially when it comes down to clutch time. If those issues pop up again, it could mean disaster.
Yeah, and for the Bobcats, they capitalized on Fairfield's mistake by taking it away, and Fairfield capitalized on the Bobcats' mistake by forcing the shot clock violation, and now the Fairfield Stags throw it out of bounds. It's going back to the Bobcats. So second quarter started with a bunch of mistakes. Girardi able to get by Brown. Girardi quick stop. Gives it to Foley at the top of the key. Foley breaks right. Foley picks it up, looks to Ella Ryan. Ella Ryan dribbles middle, swings to Foley. Foley at the three-point line, goes to the middle. O'Donnell in the paint, going against Beach. O'Donnell out to Girardi. Girardi fires at the buzzer. It's good! That's 2 buzzer beater on the shot clocks for the Bobcats so far. Now Herder, guarded by Ella Ryan, swings it to Lauren Beach. First time Lauren Beach is getting in this game. Brown off the screen, guarded now by Foley. That's the mismatch they wanted. Girardi versus Beach. Beach, layup is good. Ella Ryan throws it into Girardi, and now the full court presses on from the Stags. Girardi breaks the middle, gives to Ella Ryan. Ella Ryan, jump stop, travel is called.
Interesting seeing from Thibault Du Bois to go, the Fairfield head coach, to go into the full court press this early. We're only 7:50. We're only at about we're only 13 minutes into this game, and the full court press has already been shown by Fairfield.
We talked about what the adjustments were going to be from Fairfield after losing to Quinnipiac. They did the same thing the last game, so obviously they're not changing that. They're going to remain in the full court press. Lamoureux drives right. Foul is called on Ella Ryan. The shot was good. And Katie Lamoureux is headed to the line for a three-point play.
You don't want to see Ella Ryan get into foul trouble immediately like that. 2 fouls already in the first 2 quarters. Ella Ryan has been one of those key spark plugs off the bench for this Bobcats team. She started today, but you don't want to see that.
My mistake, it was 2 free throws. Now Martin will inbound. Both were good for the Stags. It is 14-17. Keeley takes it up the court for the Bobcats. Looking for Grisdale. She's got it. Now into O'Donnell. This one swung. Sydney Ryan, three won't go. Rebound by Lamoureux. Lamoureux working against Keeley. She gives to Brown. Brown back to Coe. Stags settle and organize the offense. O'Donnell against Brown. Brown breaking near side, picked up by Sydney Ryan. Brown trying to work the interior. She will. She gets it to go. What a move by Janelle Brown, the graduate guard. Now Keeley takes it up the floor for the Bobcats. Sydney Ryan goes to Martin. Karson Martin moves off midi. Is good for Playmark. Score now 19-16. It's a three-point game. Lamoureux goes to Janelle Brown. Janelle Brown working against O'Donnell. Now it's swung to Herder, working against Keeley. Herder into the paint. She's going to flip to the corner. A three ball for Janelle Brown won't go. Rebound Maria Keeley. Maria Keeley goes to Sydney Ryan. Sydney Ryan mid-range, off the mark, rebound by Lamoureux. Lamoureux taking it up the court. She gets in, guarded by Grisdale. Three-pointer for Herder. That one's good. Fairfield ties the game at 19 apiece.
The Bobcats had as much as a 7-point lead so far, Patrick. But Fairfield, they're showing why they're the best offensive team in the conference. They immediately get it to a tie game.
Sydney Ryan's three won't go. Rebound by Scott. Now Brown takes up the court. This is definitely going to be a game of runs. This three for Herder. Off the mark. Offensive call on Lamoureux. She grabbed the arm of Grisdale. It's going to the Bobcats.
That was, Lamoureux was very, very animated, I would say, about that. Not exactly in like an upset way. She was kind of confused in a very certain way about what that call was. She thought she had the foul there on Grisdale, but it went the other way.
The Bobcats throw it into Keeley. Keeley's made is good. The Bobcats retake the lead, 21-19. Herder moves it to Brown. Brown moves it to Van Villay. This one, offensive foul called on the Stags. It's going to the Bobcats. Martin takes it out of bounds, throws into Keeley. Keeley now going against Herder, taking it up the court. Keeley calls the play, out comes Sydney Ryan to get it. Ryan working against Anderson, into Foley. Foley guarded by Coe. Foley looking for something, she takes a dribble, handoff to Kmart. Martin's three, off the mark, rebound by Herder. Now Herder breaks the middle. Herder guarded by Keeley. She throws it into Coe, who's guarded by Martin. Definitely a mismatch the Stags are looking for there. Dribble handoff to Anderson, guarded by Grisdale. Now Brown, long three. That one off the mark. Rebound by Grisdale. She swings it to Keeley. Keeley a lot more playing time early in this game than we've seen so far this season. Kmart swings to Keeley. Keeley tried to go into Foley. That one denied by Cyan Coe. There is another media timeout we will take here. The score, Fairfield 19, Quinnipiac 21. What an energized first half this has been. Both teams have gone on runs. The Bobcats started on a hot run. Then they cooled down. Fairfield took advantage, tied the game at 19. And I have a feeling it's going to be going on all day long. Two of the best teams, two of the best mid-major teams in Division I women's college basketball. Stay with us on Bobcat Game Day. and gentlemen, welcome back to Bobcat Game Day. The Bobcats lead 21-19 with 4:08 left in the half. First half action has been electric. The bank is rocking and handing. The Bobcats, Girardi will inbound to O'Donnell, working against Cyan Co. Travel is called, and it will be going with the Stags.
They've been very, very tight on these travel calls today, Patrick. It's going to be something interesting, especially when we get into the later stages of today.
Absolutely. Now, Lamoureux gives to Van Villay, back to Lamoureux, guarded by Grisdale. Sidney Ryan switches on to Lamoureux. Foul is called on Sidney Ryan. The Stags will take it out of bounds the near side. 3:52 left in the first half. Herder goes to Lamoureux, guarded by Grisdale. Lamoureux breaks inside. Coe swings to Herder, sets a ball screen on Girardi. Breaks right, guarded by Sidney Ryan. Herder under the basket, denied by Ryan. Rebound, Coe taken away by Ryan again. What a defensive effort by the senior Sidney Ryan.
That's exactly why head coach Trish Fabbri wanted her on this Bobcats team. A guard with a lot of experience, but also some great defense.
A backdoor cut, won't go for Grisdale, but a great look by Keeley. Now Lamoureux takes up the court for the Stags. Remains 21-19 Bobcats. Coe, guarded by Ryan. Ball swings to Lamoureux. Lamoureux, deep three. That one won't go. Rebound by Sidney Ryan. Sidney Ryan, the transfer from Furman. She lobs it up to Ella O'Donnell, who can't get it to go, but is fouled by Megan Anderson.
Ryan being a key factor after this break right now. And again, kind of the long ball play for O'Donnell, but O'Donnell using a lot of that frame to get up there, get the ball up there. She's 6'3" along with Foley. Both of the Bobcats bigs are making a huge impact today.
Two shots coming up for Ella O'Donnell. Karson Martin and Anna Foley come in for the Bobcats. First shot won't go for O'Donnell. Here comes attempt number 2. This one will go. 22-19. The Bobcats remain with the lead. Lamoureux goes to Lauren Beach. Lauren Beach into Anderson, guarded by Grisdale, flips it to the corner, back to the top of the key. Lamoureux's three. That one's money. Lamoureux ties it at 22 with 2:36 left in the half. Girardi looking for Foley. She gets it there. Foley takes it to the top of the key, looking for the handoff, goes to Martin. Martin fires Girardi. Girardi's three won't go. Rebound by Lamoureux. Lamoureux takes it across the Bobcat. Working on a ball screen, she brings it in, going against Grisdale. That layup will go. 2 minutes left in the half. Fairfield with their first lead of the day, 24-22. Foul called on Van Villay. Talked about it, a game of runs. Fairfield's on one right now. The Bobcats, they want to stop the bleeding and make a bucket here. Doesn't have to be anything fancy.
Well, that's exactly who they want at the line in Karson Martin. Karson Martin is a type of player to get a bucket anytime you need it. She's a pure scorer here.
To your point, she's 1 for 1. The Bobcats in the bonus. Shot number 2. Good. For Kmart. We are tied at 24 with 1:50 left in the half. Lamoureux, layup good again. Working against Grisdale. 1:40 left in the quarter. Paige Girardi takes it up the far side of the court. Going against Lamoureux. Martin comes out to get it. Martin drives left. Pulls it back out. Ball screen, O'Donnell, Martin's three, off the mark, out of bounds. It will remain with, or will go back to the Stags. This one to Anderson. Anderson. Ball inside the Beach. Lauren Beach's layup is good. Fairfield extends to a 4-point lead. 1 minute left. Ball screen taken away by Brown. Saved by Anderson. Lamoureux gets it to Scott. Brown drives inside. Ball out of bounds. It will remain with Fairfield. Coach Fabbri runs down the line. She wants a review. She's going to get it. 47 seconds remain.
To walk through what happened to the listeners at home, Jackie Grisdale was all over Brown for Fairfield. Janelle Brown was at the baseline. Grisdale made a typical steal attempt there, but what's being argued here by the Bobcats is that it went off Brown. Not off the hands of Jackie Grisdale like the refs initially called.
Yeah, they're going to go take a look. 47.1 seconds left in the half. It has absolutely been a Fairfield tear in the last 2 minutes, I would say. They have a 4-point lead, 28-24. Coach Fabbri brings in her team to talk over settling down. And on the flip side, Coach Carley talking to her team about, if they do get this ball back, how to extend the lead.
Exactly. I mean, you're in a situation here, you're at the end of the half. The most important parts of a basketball game are in the last 2 minutes of each quarter you play or late each half you play. You want to finish strong. You want to play sound defense in these final 2 minutes. There's 47.1 seconds left on this clock, and what the key goal for the Bobcats is getting this to a tie game, whatever that may be, in 47 seconds.
The Bobcats historically this season have been a better second half team. So Coach Fabbri saying, cut this lead down as much as you can. The Bobcats will have the ball. Challenge was successful for Coach Fabbri. Girardi working against Lamoureux at the logo. She waits for Martin. She's going to throw it into O'Donnell. O'Donnell working against Beach. O'Donnell, middle lane drive. Travel is called, and another defensive stop for the Stags.
It seems uncharacteristic that it's very tight on this travel. Very tight by the referees here. A call goes the way of Fairfield.
Now Lamoureux with 23 seconds left, trying to see if they can extend their 4-point lead. They're going to work for the last shot. Shot clock is off, guarded by Grisdale. Lamoureux waits for it. 10 seconds now. Fakes the ball screen. Herder drives to the middle. Her layup won't go. Rebound taken by Martin. 2-1, half court for Martin, off the rim. That will take us to the end of the first half. The Fairfield Stags with a 4-point lead, 28-24. We are headed to commercial, and when we return, they'll be back in the studio to break down the first half. Stay with us on Bobcat Game Day.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Guys! We had to make a commercial for #that right now. What do we do?
How long do we have?
We only had 2 months to do this.
We could explain that it's a pop culture news show that covers everything from movies, music, and video games.
Yeah, and we can also talk about how there's pre-recorded segments that vary from reviews to in-depth discussions.
We should also mention that it broadcasts live every Monday at 7 p.m. on q30tv.com/watch.
I think that covers everything. Did you guys get that down?
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back into Studio 125. If you're just joining us, I'm Ben Rickevicius, joined alongside Zach Naffah, Thomas Curtis, and Brady Mullen. Guys, Fairfield ahead 28-24 at the break. What were your thoughts in the first half, Zach? I want to start with you.
Yeah, I thought it was a very competitive first half. It felt like the Bobcats had the momentum early on, but Fairfield really put a charge at the end to take over those probably last 5 minutes or so of that second quarter. I think Katie Lamro did a very good job generating some buckets in the latter half of the first
They just
half.
put her at the top of the key and said kind of go to work. They had Grisdale on her, and Grisdale did a good enough job, but Lamro's a tough bucket, especially in the lane. And as you see, she had 10 points in that half. So I thought they did a good job limiting the three-point line at the start, but as soon as you get Lamro dribble drives, that's when stuff starts to open up.
Yeah, the Bobcats really held them defensively. They held them field goal-wise just under 30%. Also, three-point percent for the Stags was 20%. And then the second half, they just blew up. Yeah. Over 50% from the field for the Fairfield Stags, and that's just never good when you're playing them defensively. You got to fix something quickly.
Yeah, and I think that another thing is on the Quinnipiac side, they did not shoot well from three. 14.3%, just 1 for 7 from behind the line. We talked about the importance of it. Last time they shot very well from behind the arc. Early on so far, it has been the exact opposite.
And the worst part is Ella Ryan hit a 3 to start the game. Since then, they're 0 for 6. They haven't seen one go through the hoop since that first possession.
And then Ella Ryan, 2 fouls.
Exactly.
Goes on the bench.
That's
takes another one.
what took them off the three-point line.
Well, just like that, we're going to take a look at our first half highlights. Let's see what we got. Well, Ella Ryan starts off this game pretty strong, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this show, 1 conference loss for Fairfield on the season, 2 Quinnipiac in the earlier meeting. But let's take a look at this Ryan step-back 3. Drills it at the left wing, and then Anna Foley on the defensive end. Check out this swat as Fairfield going to the basket there, and then Grisdale beats the buzzer on this little inbound play. It's 13-7 Quinnipiac early, and then Anna Foley goes to work in the post. Somehow gets that shot to fall. It's 15-10 Bobcats. Fabbri loving it on the sidelines, and then Fairfield starts to take over. Janelle Brown, this tough layup inside. It's a 1-point game, and then Julian Herder will hit this 3 to tie things up. A 9-2 Fairfield run, and as we pointed out, Katie Lamro finishing the first half with 10 points, 28-24 Stags at the break. In Quinnipiac, they started the game pretty strong defensively. Second quarter, little wavering, but how can they keep up that defensive intensity, Brady?
Yeah, I think really what the big thing, and we were talking about this during the second quarter, it's the defensive slides. They're sliding either too early, they're making, the 1 slide will go, the 2 slide won't be there, so it's really the help defense right there. If they're getting burnt, no one is there to slide, and then if they are, then they're sliding too quickly, and then they leave the person wide open.
And the problem is, you see, there was one play that they have Van Vlew in the corner. She's wide open, so the Cats get 2 players to rotate over, and it's Megan Anderson on the right wing for a 3. Like, their rotations are, they might be intense enough, but it's just to the wrong spots.
Well, I think the biggest thing is they actually shut down Megan Anderson. No points in that first half. It was just Lamro getting hot at the end to end up with 12 points at the end of the first half. So I think that for them, they need to continue running people off the three-point line, like you said in the pregame, that they did very well in the first game. But also, you got to get the ball out of Lamro's hands. 12 points of the 28, nearly half the points have gone to Lamro. You need to force somebody else to score. You're doing a great job shutting down
Anderson.
Anderson.
Assist, though. She's 4.5 assists a game, so when you do get it out of her hands, that's
But she only has 1 assist.
That's true.
Exactly.
But
so who would you rather? Would you rather her passing the ball off, or would you rather her taking the shots? Right now, I think you want to get the ball out
I'd
of
rather
her
a
hands.
Lamro tough shot than let her get a dribble drive and collapse all the way onto her. This Sporting Cast is just
4 for 6 from the field to start. 4 for 6 from the field.
A tough shot from Lamro instead of a open shot for somebody else. I'd rather.
I mean, if she's seen them go down, I feel like
12
that's
points.
the last thing you want to see her continue to
She's
get
4
into
for
that
6.
rhythm.
She's shooting 2 for 3 from behind the arc. I mean, right now, her tough shots are easy shots for her.
Yeah,
so
right.
I just think that, and she's still 2 for 2 from the free throw line. So she's already matched her free throw total in this game in just the first half than she did all of last game. So I think that if you're going to make her have a tough day, you might want to foul her instead of just letting her take the shot.
That's fine. If you want to foul her, we'll see what Fabbri does. But I really do think that I would rather Lamro and get players, to rotate towards Lamro instead of leaving players open.
We just talked about the issue of rotating.
Right, yeah.
But
Well, we're going to have to see how Lamro continues to impact the game in the second half, but we're going to send it up to the bank right now to hear a word from Quinnipiac assistant coach Carly Fabbri.
Yeah, first we're going to have a commercial
break.
break.
Okay, we're going to go to commercial break. I'm jumping the gun. So we'll be right back here in a minute and 30 seconds on Bobcat Game Day.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and to support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
No, I'm not gambling. Live from the piazza, it's Quinnipiac tonight!
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here.
Wait.
What?
I can't drive.
Why?
I'm high.
Oh.
Welcome back to Bobcat Game Day. Before we get into our interview, guys, I want to know from your perspective, who has stood out to you guys in the first half the most? Zach, let's start with you.
So I think the obvious answer is Katie Lamro, but I'm going to look at the Bobcat side, and I'm going to go with Ella O'Donnell.
Okay.
She was 3 for 5 in the first half, good for 7 points, 1 for 2 from the line. You'd really have liked that free throw miss. But she's also the leading rebounder for the Bobcats with 3 and does have an assist as well, all in 15 minutes. So she sat for 5 minutes. I think that the biggest thing is O'Donnell played well the last time these teams faced off, and to play well, I think without Ella O'Donnell, this is an entirely different ball game for the Stags and the Bobcats. I think that O'Donnell has done a great job of keeping the Bobcats in this game, especially because Sydney Ryan 0 for 3 from the field. Ella Ryan started off with the three-pointer and then has had to sit. And Jackie Grisdale still 1 for 3 with 2 points. No one else has more than 5 points, and that's Ella Ryan, and she's been on the bench for the majority of it.
To see her continue the momentum from the first game is very promising for Quinnipiac, and also the way they've done it. I feel like every motion for her has been down on the block where she's dominated. It's been her out of the block and then passing out of it. So I like the way they've used O'Donnell, and it's just continuing her dominance against Fairfield.
Yeah, I think we saw that we've talked about the depth a lot for the Bobcats, and I think that depth really hasn't shown in the second quarter. Ella O'Donnell, a majority of those points coming in the first quarter, and then the second quarter they kind of locked her down. There was a bit of a interesting travel call on her that probably I would say wasn't a travel, and you give her 9 points. But the Bobcats, like you just said, now for the rest of the team, not looking good. But if we're talking about the best player on the court right now, it's Katie Lamro.
The best player, I definitely agree with Lamro.
Yeah.
But I think that standing out, that's why I went with Ella O'Donnell. But
exactly.
We'll have to see in the second half then.
Great. Well, we're going to send it up to the bank quickly to get some word from Quinnipiac assistant coach Carly Fabbri on her thoughts on the first half. Brittany Braun-Levin is standing by with her. Take it away, Brittany.
I'm Brittany Braun-Levin. I'm going alongside women's basketball assistant coach Carly Fabbri. Carly, so far this game's been very intense. What was the message before the game going into it?
Just do what we've done, play together. Obviously, they shoot the ball really well. We got to run them off the three-point line. I thought second quarter we got a little jumbled there. Got to do a better job of communicating and listening to each other.
Ella O'Donnell currently leads the team in points in this matchup. What has she shown to you?
She, again, doing what she's done all year. I think she's a really dominant post player. That's kind of the name of our game is we want to pound the post, find our cutters. I think she's getting a little too rushed, a couple of those turnovers in the second quarter.
As you told her, a lot of turnovers for the Bobcats. How do you try to limit that in the second half?
Yeah, just got to do a better job of getting open for each other, taking a deep breath. Obviously, this is a big game. We're all kind of hyped up, but settle in and hopefully find our groove in the second half.
Going to the second half, obviously, what's the message for the team and how do you try to rebuild? Going down, only down by 4 points though.
Yeah, again, just do a better job on defense. Like I said, communicate, listen to one another. And offensively, I think we're just getting, a little bit too rushed. Take our time, get open for each other. Let's see the ball go in the basket early in the third quarter.
Thank you, Coach Carly Fabbri.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
All right, we're back here for just a second before we go back to the broadcast. TC, I got to ask you, what does Quinnipiac need to do to change the momentum of things going into the second
Just as
half?
Carly just said, they've got to play better perimeter defense. They've got to. I know it only says 3 for 11, but the fact that Fairfield got 11 shots up from behind the arc, a team that shoots at 38%, they need to run them off and not even allow those shots to go up because they are going to start going down in the second half.
I think offensively, they're telegraphing passes a lot as well. I think we have to stop looking at the defensive half so much, but it is the offensive part too, where they're telegraphing these passes. They have 10 turnovers, so does Fairfield, but it seems like they're working for those turnovers more, and Fairfield's kind of just getting the ball given to them.
Bobcats only 9 for 21 from the field as a whole in that first half. They've got to score a lot better and a lot more efficiently here in the second half. But all I know is I'm still feeling confident in my Fairfield pick from before the game.
Well, that is all the time we got for our halftime show. Third quarter just about to start at M&T Bank Arena, so we'll send you back to Pat and Zach at QBSN. Enjoy the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the broadcast. If you're just joining us, I'm Patrick McGugan alongside Zach Stokinger. All right, Zach. Fairfield 28, Quinnipiac 24. As we anticipated, this was going to be a close one, a game of runs. The Bobcats started on a run, got up to a 7-point lead. Then the Stags came storming back, not only tied it, but then took a 4-point lead. Now, the Stags are hitting offensively. They're winning in the paint now. That's what the difference was in the first quarter compared to the second quarter. So, for the Bobcats, defensively, talk to me about what Anna Foley and Ella O'Donnell need to do to step up to secure that paint.
Honestly, I think they played, Patrick, if I'm going to be honest, I think they played a very sound defensive game. It's just, Fairfield's always taking it to that next level. They got to make sure they take that energy to the next level. O'Donnell started off hot, was in the paint, was getting down low, getting nitty and gritty, but Coe has outdone her. Anderson's gotten down low. Herder's gotten down low. Van Villay, excuse me. I'm not very good with Dutch, but Van Villay's gotten down low. The Bobcats really can only use Foley and O'Donnell, so they're kind of outnumbered down there. But they have to up the intensity, up their output. If they can up their intensity throughout this second half here, I think we could see the narrative change down low.
I think another big thing that's going in the Stags' direction is their point guard, Katie Lamoureux. She has stepped up big time, made defensive plays. She's also gotten into the paint and scored there. So she's someone who the Bobcats have definitely talked about at halftime and need to make some adjustments guarding her. It's Ben Grisdale, who's historically a great defender, but Lamoureux today playing at a different level.
Lamoureux, that's the reason Lamoureux is one of, if not the best players in the MAC conference. She's been consistent. She's been consistently excellent. It is one of the players that you hate playing against if you're Quinnipiac.
We are moments away from the second half. It should be fiery, it should be exciting. Coach Fabbri described it last week in her press conference as a thunder and lightning matchup. And here we go. The Bobcats will start with possession. Sydney Ryan will take it out of bounds. She goes into Girardi, who's guarded by Herder. Herder playing a full court man. Girardi looking for Ella Ryan at the free throw line. She's got her at the top of the key. Foul called on Coe, who went for the ball. Coe went for the ball, but kind of ran right through Ella Ryan.
Can't really do that. I'm pretty sure.
So Sydney will take it out of bounds, right in front of Coach Fabbri. Into Girardi. 19 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Ryan. Ella Ryan working against Lamoureux. She goes into O'Donnell. O'Donnell guarded by Coe. O'Donnell flips it out to Ryan. Ryan mid-range. That one's good. 26-28, Fairfield has the lead. Lamoureux in Fairfield's first offensive possession. Megan Anderson taped up her knee during halftime. Sets a hard screen on Ryan. This one into Coe, guarded by Sydney Ryan. Coe dribbles into the paint. That one will go for the Fairfield Roadrunner. Now Girardi takes it up the court. Paige Girardi leads the nation in assists to turnover ratio, 4.88, over a point more than the second place player. O'Donnell drives the lane. She gets it to go. Now Lamoureux takes it up, swings to Anderson. Anderson working against O'Donnell. That one won't go. Saved by Anderson. Out to Herder. This one, drive by Anderson, goes to Scott. Scott's three. Dagger! Sydney Scott extends the lead to 5. 33-28, the Stags lead. Girardi going against Herder. Goes into O'Donnell, guarded by Coe. O'Donnell at the elbow. Hands it off to Grisdale. It's knocked away. That one picked up by Coe. Timeout taken by Coach Carley. And the Stags will have possession with 7:53 left in the third.
After that media timeout, Patrick, in the second quarter, in the first half, there seems to be like a switch. Something happened in that huddle, and Dedonis has gotten this Stags team locked back in. They've gotten their biggest lead of the night. They've minimized their mistakes, and they're capitalizing on the Bobcats, kind of looking for big play options. And that, so far, has continued to their success today.
Absolutely. Something else I want to add is, in their first matchup, the Bobcats, they couldn't miss, right? They were scoring. They were also playing great defense. We talked about they're one of the top defenses in the nation statistically. But today, Coe and Anderson are really having their way with whoever they've been matched up against, and it's leading the Bobcats to have to make some changes defensively. I think also the Bobcats aren't taking as good of care as the ball as they normally do. You know, after Girardi, it's kind of getting tossed around between Ella Ryan, Jackie Grisdale, and, you know, I think Karson Martin has been the player to come in off the bench and kind of set the rock. She's been the rock and really calm the offense down and limit the amount of turnovers they've had. But we talked about it. Whichever team was on scoring tonight, that's the team that was inevitably going to come up with the win. And so far, it's been Fairfield. But again, they've been hitting since the middle of the first quarter, and it's only a 5-point lead.
Yeah,
so true. Both teams, you know, top two in the MAC. We knew this game was going to be tight, and what an exciting one as it's going to come down to the wire here.
And it also opens up questions if this score stands. What's going on in the MAC? I mean, these teams have split each other. Now, the next 3 or so games for both of these teams are going to be so crucial. The Bobcats, if I'm the Bobcats, you got to take every advantage you can get right now because the Stags have a very solid foundation right now.
Absolutely. Both teams will retake the court. It will be a sideline out of bounds for the Stags. Megan Anderson will take it. Shout out to Quinnipiac President Marie Harden. She was in the stands earlier with a QU sign.
I think she went to Yale. She went over to the Yale game.
She went over to the Yale game. Catch the tail end of that one.
Typical. I'm joking. I'm always joking, folks.
Sideline out of bounds. Taking a minute here. The refs are having a little discussion now. Coach Carly comes over, talks to 2 of her leaders in Herder and Anderson. Anderson averaging 16.7 points per game, and Herder 8.9 points per game. Referees have broke their discussion, and we are set to go. 7:53 left in the quarter. Ball into Herder. She's going to be picked up by Ella Ryan. Now to Anderson, over to Lamoureux. Her layup will go, working against Grisdale. Now it's Girardi working against Lamoureux, taking it up the court. She's across the half court into O'Donnell. O'Donnell going against Lauren Beach. O'Donnell picks it up. Looking for Ryan. She's got Ella Ryan. The drive. The layup won't go. Denied by Herder. Now Anderson makes a move. Kick out. Another pass to Herder. Herder going against Ella Ryan. Drives the lane. Kicks to Lauren Beach. Lauren Beach to Scott. Scott's 3. Off the rim. Rebound Ella Ryan. Ella Ryan running point for the Bobcats. Swings to Sydney. Sydney Ryan's 3. That one's good. Sydney Ryan puts the Bobcats within 4. 35-31, the Stags lead. Lamoureux gets it. Guarded by O'Donnell. Swings to Scott. Back to Lamoureux. Lamoureux pulls up from 3. That one off the rim. Rebound Sydney Ryan. Paige Girardi takes it up the near side. Girardi switches back, goes to Grisdale. Grisdale looks to Sydney Ryan, her 3. It's good again! Sydney Ryan stepping up big time for the Cats.
Back-to-back 3-pointers. Again, another reason why Trish Fabbri wanted this transfer. Great shooting from the senior.
Lamoureux gets it to go again. She has owned Grisdale in this second half. This one, Ella Ryan, her 3, in and out of the hoop. Megan Anderson will take it up the court. The Ryan sisters firing from 3-point range. Now into Sydney Scott, guarded. It's back to Lauren Beach. She swings to Herder. Herder drives against O'Donnell. This one taken away by Ella Ryan. Ella Ryan pushing tempo. She's going to pull it out, slow the offense down. Goes to Girardi. Girardi into O'Donnell. O'Donnell scans the floor, working against Herder. This one taken away, but it will stay with the Bobcats. Lauren Beach came in from behind, snatched the ball up. In comes Anna Foley off the bench to take out Ella O'Donnell.
The Bobcats have gotten it back. They were down about 8 points there, Patrick, in that a little bit ago in that stretch, and now they made it a one-possession game.
Girardi gets it into Grisdale. Grisdale fires to Foley. Foley's mid-range. That one's money. It's a 1-point game. The Stags lead 37-36. Brown swings to Beach. Beach guarded by Ryan. Now it's into Anderson. Anderson to Brown. Anderson ball screen. Brown won't use it. Brown going against Ella Ryan. Her reverse layup won't go. Rebound Sydney Ryan. The Ryan sisters have stepped up, but Sydney throws her away. taken by Brown, and she'll just hold it to reset the offense. Brown out to Lamoureux, gets it to the point guard. Lamoureux driving on Grisdale again. Lamoureux takes it out to the three-point line, swings to Anderson. Now over to Brown, working against Girardi. Back to Anderson, guarded by Sydney Ryan. Ball screen switch. Lauren Beach drives against Foley. She gets it to go. 3-point lead for the Stags, 39-36. 4 minutes left in the quarter. This one goes to Ella Ryan, who breaks inside, throws it back to Sydney, out to Foley. Foley inside, Girardi's layup, good! Katie Lamoureux, now going against Girardi again, swings it to Brown. Brown at the three-point line, now working against Grisdale, taken away by Grisdale, jump ball is called. Both teams going after it, getting after it.
Absolutely. We talk about this is a Connecticut rivalry. These two teams have been in this MAC conference for almost 2 decades. They don't like each other. I've never met a Fairfield kid, but I know I don't like a Fairfield kid, and that's the mentality between these two teams, between these two universities. And they both want bragging rights. Quinnipiac wants the bragging rights to say, hey, we swept you. You could have beaten us last year, but this year's different. Fairfield, they want to keep the status quo. They want to prove they are the best team in the MAC. Both teams have an identical record, and the Bobcats have the advantage so far in MAC record. But again, it's two giants of the MAC going at each other right now.
Absolutely. The Bobcats climb their way back in. It's a 1-point game, 39-38. We are at our media timeout, so we're going to take a quick break, but stay with us. Some serious third quarter action, and then what we're all waiting for, the fourth quarter action, coming soon on Bobcat Gameday. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bobcat Game Day. It's Quinnipiac, it's Fairfield, it's everything you want on a Valentine's Saturday. The Stags lead by one, 39-38, 3:43 left in the quarter. It's Katie Lamoureux to inbound from the baseline. Lamoureux scans the court, gets it to Beach. Lauren Beach drives, kicks Lamoureux's three. That one's good. Lamoureux extends the lead to 4. Anna Foley, running point guard, the forward. Tried to hand it to Ryan. She's tripped up by Lamoureux, and a foul called on the Stags point guard. It will be Girardi to take it out for the Bobcats. Trisha Fabbri, as you alluded to earlier, what an outfit. The gold pants, the silver sweater. Here we go, Girardi. In front of her coach, lobs it into O'Donnell. That one deflected off O'Donnell's hand. She tried to force the issue and pays for it.
Patrick, I know this is a little bit off topic, but you did talk to head coach Trisha Fabbri and Paige Girardi and Karson Martin before today's game. She did say she had a unique fashion choice for today's game. And I got to say, I'm rocking with it.
I like it as well. Fairfield, 15 seconds into the shot clock. They swing to Scott. Now over to Beach. Beach out to Brown. 8 seconds. Brown working against Grisdale. Brown, 5 seconds. Gets it to Lamoureux. Lamoureux's 3. Off the mark. Rebound Girardi. Girardi guarded by Brown. Grisdale able to save the pass. Grisdale forces it out to Foley. Foley dribble handoff with Ella Ryan. That one into Foley. She goes up. The pass into Girardi won't go. Foul called on the Stags.
Chance for the Bobcats now to make it a 1-point possession here. You know, you obviously wanted to get that basket there, maybe get an and one to make it a 1-point game, but we're not even going to get a foul. It is a non-shooting foul.
Fairfield was lucky they did commit that foul because it was a wide open lane for Girardi. Now Foley, her layup will spin right in, working against Lauren Beach. It's a 2-point game. The Stags lead 42-40. Beach holding at the 3-point line, swings it to Lamoureux. Lamoureux's 3 off the mark. Foul called on Girardi.
A couple fans behind us are very displeased with that call there.
Now Carly Thibault-Dedonis pulls Scott out of the game to talk to her. They're going to run things over while Jillian Herter takes it out of bounds. Megan Anderson will set a screen for Lamoureux. Lamoureux pops back out, gets the ball. Trying to do something with O'Donnell. Grisdale switches onto her. Lamoureux out to Herter. Herter's 3 is good. 45-40, Fairfield leads, 2 minutes left in the quarter. Foley pops open for Girardi. Now Martin with the ball, back to Foley. Foley drives the middle, Girardi cuts right, out to Grisdale. Grisdale baseline drive, floater, in and out, rebound Girardi, taken away by Beach. A drive and a make. What a play by the point guard, Katie Lamoureux, taking over for the Stags. 47-40, 1:19 to play. Martin drives, kicks into Foley. Foley and one! The crowd rising to their feet. Foley trying to get something started for the Bobcats. That one on Van Vliet.
The physicality of Anna Foley, she's not afraid of a little contact. She's like a big version of an old school big in the college basketball. Great, she's a great center right there, but also great job down there to keep her composure.
And the one free throw is good. Foley out of the game. In comes Sydney Ryan. Interestingly enough, the Bobcats started by dominating the paint with O'Donnell, and now in the second half they switched to Foley, who's been money for the Bobcats.
That's the best part about this two forward system that head coach Fabbri loves to use. Both players have similar skill sets, but they can capitalize at any time.
Lauren Beach reverse layup is good. Stags back to a 6-point lead. Ryan to Martin. Martin scans the court. Drives to the middle. Martin, layup, good. Katie Lamoureux pushing pace for the Stags. Into Anderson. Driving into Coe. Coe's layup is good. The Bobcats went to double Anderson and left a wide open Cyan Coe in the paint. 18 seconds left. 51-45, the Bobcats trail by 6. They're looking for the last shot with Karson Martin. Martin driving the lane, pull-up jumper, money! that will take us to the end of the third quarter. What a third quarter it was. The Stags lead 51-47, a 4-point game, setting up for what's surely going to be an all-time fourth quarter. Right now, we are going to send it to commercial, and then the boys in studio will be giving their fourth quarter predictions and what they expect to see. Stay with us on Bobcat Gameday.
Quick break in the action before the start of the fourth quarter. Current score 51-47 Fairfield. Lamro up to 18 points, and for Quinnipiac, O'Donnell and Foley both have 9. Zach, what are your initial thoughts going into the fourth quarter?
Yeah, Anna Foley really took over there in that third quarter. 7 points in the third all alone. I think the biggest thing now here is what are the defenses going to do? Because Quinnipiac still only 3 for 10 from 3, but 2 for 3 in that quarter. Are they going to try to take more outside shots, or are they going to continue attacking on the inside?
And they haven't kept Fairfield off the perimeter on offense, and I'm really unimpressed with Quinnipiac's interior defense. They've let up, especially those last 4 minutes, let up a ton of cuts for Fairfield to get easy twos, and those are preventable buckets for QU.
Yeah, once again for the Cats, it's early slides or 2 over-aggressive slides. Meanwhile, for the Stags defensively, they're playing very aggressive outside the perimeter. It's leaving people like Foley, Martin on backdoor cuts wide open. I think they got to keep going interior for the Bobcats.
10 minutes to decide this game. We'll be back in studio after the final buzzer to recap all the action. But for now, it's time for the fourth quarter. Let's send it back over to Patrick and Zach on the QBSN radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the broadcast. The Stags lead 51-47. Fourth quarter action coming up momentarily. Well, let's talk about the implications of this fourth quarter. If the Stags win, then that's confidence for them going into the MAC tournament. If Quinnipiac wins, that's all the confidence in the world. They just swept Fairfield first time since 2022. Now, Quinnipiac has not lost in the MAC yet. If they do lose this game, it would be their first one. And, you know, how important is that at this point? Is it the end of the world for the Bobcats to lose today?
Absolutely not, Patrick. I mean, to look at one game and one loss to be the end of a season and the end of the world, no. Even if the Bobcats can't come out top, they should be proud of themselves. This is a very difficult Fairfield team. This team arguably can probably go into an NCAA tournament and win against maybe 30% of the teams in it. You can't say that about any other MAC sport, really. And also, it's very difficult to beat a team twice in the season. That's an adage across all sports. So if the Bobcats are able to get it done today, they do something that's very impressive.
Keeley has it for the Bobcats. They will start into Anna Foley. Foley looks to Martin. Martin has it. Going against. Taken away by Lauren Beach. Now Katie Lamoureux drives and kicks. Herder pulls it out to the three-point line. Over to Lamoureux, guarded by Keeley. Foul is called on Maria Keeley. Lamoureux has been looking for that call all day, and she finally gets it. Now, Fairfield will take it out of bounds into Lamoureux. Lamoureux gives to Herder. Herder going against Martin. Herder into the paint. Herder won't go. Rebound. No one rebounds. It goes out of bounds, and the Bobcats will take possession. Still a 4-point game, 51-47, the Stags lead. Karson Martin brings it to the middle of the court, gives to Grisdale. Grisdale into Keeley. Keeley takes it over. Grisdale three, money! Grisdale gives Katie Lamoureux the business on the way back up the floor. Now Lamoureux will drive against Grisdale. Grisdale, they're going at it. And a foul called on Jackie Grisdale. Coach Fabbri didn't like it a bit.
Very, very, very quick calls from this referee crew, Patrick. It's been a thing all game, but it's been on both sides. But again, the Bobcats, they can't have these little mistakes. They can't be sending Katie Lamoureux to the line. She's dangerous from all three phases of the game, and she's proved it today with 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Lamoureux's first shot from the line is good. Second shot, good as well. Back to a 3-point lead for the Stags, 53-50. Keeley takes it up the floor, going against Herder. She breaks right, backs out, gives to Grisdale. Grisdale into Martin. Martin into Foley. Foley, hook shot, good! Back to a 1-point game. Grisdale locking off Lamoureux. Now Anderson gives to Beach, guarded by Foley. Over to Herder again, back into Anderson, guarded by Sydney Ryan. Switch over to Katie Lamoureux, driving against Grisdale, backs out, Lamoureux 3, off the mark. Rebound by Beach. Beach out to Scott. Scott's 3. Won't go again. Rebound again, but out of bounds. It will go with the Bobcats.
Great defensive possession there, Patrick. If the Stags were able to get a bucket there, that could have been very demoralizing. They had so many rebounds. And as one of the better defensive teams, the Bobcats can't have that happening.
And the Bobcats, that's what they did last game in Fairfield. Absolutely dominated the boards, and that's what Fairfield is doing here. Foul is called on Lauren Beach. Folks, it is getting chippy in the bank.
7:47 left, Patrick. It's going to be one of the best, almost 8 minutes of MAC basketball that the conference could provide. Both these teams want it so bad, you could feel it over here on the scorer's table.
Absolutely. In to Keeley, guarded by Lamoureux. Lamoureux into Foley. Foley's midi won't go. Rebounded by Scott. Now Lamoureux takes it up the middle, guarded. She swings it to Herder. Herder guarded by Martin. Over to Lamoureux. Lamoureux to Beach. Beach holds it, goes to Anderson. Anderson dribble drive. Layup is good and one.
Those are Anderson's first points of the night, Patrick. The Bobcats have shut her down really throughout this entire game. She has been pretty much a non-factor. If she gets hot now, this is going to spell bad news for Quinnipiac.
A 3-person substitution. Out goes Keeley, Foley, and Martin. In comes Ella Ryan, Ella O'Donnell, and Paige Girardi for the Cats. Anderson's and one shot. Off the mark, rebounded by Ella Ryan. Ella Ryan will hold. It is a 3-point game in Hamden. 55-52. Fairfield leads. Sydney Ryan tried to flip it into O'Donnell. Off the mark. And it's those little mistakes you were talking about starting to add up for the Bobcats.
Little mistakes compound, Patrick. They compound. Kind of like interest for any of you financial majors out there. It compounds to a point where even one mistake could cause a multitude of effects. And we're kind of seeing that here. The Bobcats are more mistake-prone than the Stags, and the Stags are leading by 3.
Lamoureux working against Grisdale. That hook shot is good. Extending to a 5-point lead with 7 to go. Girardi, guarded by Scott, swings to Ella Ryan. Ryan goes to her sister Sydney. Sydney into O'Donnell. O'Donnell to Girardi. Girardi's 3. Off the mark. Megan Anderson will take it up the floor for the Bobcats. She goes into Lauren Beach. Lamp is good. Trisha Fabbri holds off on the timeout. Now she'll take it. The Fairfield crowd erupts here in the bank. Coach Carly loving what her team is putting out there now. It's a 7-point lead with 6:18 to go for the Fairfield Stags. 59-52. We're going to take a short break here on the broadcast, but stay with us. Still 6 minutes of fourth quarter action to go. Welcome back here in Hamden, Connecticut. It's fourth quarter action between the Bobcats and the Stags. Fairfield leads 59-52, 6:18 left in the game. Bobcats will take it out of bounds. Anna Foley will inbound. Into the game now for the Bobcats. There's Anna Foley, Ella O'Donnell, Paige Girardi, Ella Ryan, and Jackie Grisdale. Fairfield has absolutely gone after Grisdale in this fourth quarter. Katie Lamoureux has dominated the point guard position in this game and showing it with a 7-point lead here to go.
A battle of two of the best guards in the conference, and Lamoureux has come out on top. Grisdale, I'm pretty sure, Pat, you can correct me, Patrick, excuse me, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Grisdale only has 4 points so far today. That's not great. That's not a keeper. That's not a performance that Grisdale wants to remember. But still, there's 6:10 left on the clock. Plenty of time. 6 minutes is a long time in basketball.
Absolutely. Foul called on the Stags. It's called on Megan Anderson. Girardi will take it out of bounds on the baseline for the Bobcats. This one into O'Donnell, guarded by Beach, over to Foley, out to Ella Ryan. Ella Ryan working against Sydney Scott. Ella Ryan breaks left. Ella Ryan drives, kicks to Girardi. Girardi into Foley. Foley mid-range, off the mark. Rebound Anderson. Anderson gives to Lamoureux. Lamoureux drives in, kicks, out of bounds. Turnover Fairfield. It will go back to the Bobcats. Into the game comes Karson Martin for Paige Girardi. We talked about it earlier. Karson Martin has been the rock for this team since she's come back from injury. That's exactly what Trisha Fabbri is looking for her to do right now. Still a 7-point lead. The ball given into Grisdale. Grisdale at the 3-point line, looking for O'Donnell, won't get it. Guarded by Herder. She tried the backdoor cut. Ella Ryan, 3, off the mark, rebound by Karson Martin, who saved it. Over to Foley. Foley swings Grisdale. Ella Ryan, she drives, kicks, 3-pointer. Off the mark, a rebound again by Ella Ryan. She goes up, can't get it to fall. And the Bobcats, after all that, come up empty-handed.
That is a back-breaking sequence there, Patrick. So many missed opportunities for the Bobcats.
And there's the nail in the coffin from Sydney Scott as she hits a 3 to make it a 10-point game.
5 minutes left, Pat. I don't know exactly if that's a nail in the coffin. The Bobcats still got a chance here. 10 points is a comebackable league. It's just give or take 4 or 5 possessions. But the Bobcats need to be perfect over these next couple minutes.
Absolutely. Ella Ryan gives to Ella O'Donnell. O'Donnell working against Beach. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Offensive foul called on O'Donnell, and she can't believe it. Trisha Fabbri will take another timeout and wants an explanation from the referee. As the Bobcats take a timeout, so will we. 10-point game. The Stags lead 62-52 with 4:35 left in the game. Stay with us on Bobcat Gameday. Welcome back to the bank. We just got high fives from President Hardin. She's back on the basketball side of the arena. She's trying to implore the crowd as her Bobcats are down by 10. It will be Fairfield basketball. The full court presses on for the Bobcats. Anderson gets it into Herder. Herder going against Martin. Martin backs off. Herder takes it up the court. Herder in the middle will give to Sydney Scott. Scott goes back to Herder. Herder swings to Beach. Beach looking for Anderson, won't go. Back to Herder. Herder drives into Anderson. That won't go, and the foul is called on Sydney Ryan. Trisha Fabbri still giving the refs her side of the story. Anderson will go to the line.
This is not where the Bobcats want to be. They do not want to be in this hole, and they do not want Megan Anderson getting a chance to get more buckets and get something going for herself.
Fairfield extends to an 11-point lead, 63-52. Anderson's second attempt. Good. 12-point lead for the Stags. Martin goes into Girardi. Girardi working against Herder. It has been the Stags defense that has stepped up in these last few minutes. Into Sydney Ryan. Sydney Ryan looking for a backdoor cut. She gives to Grisdale. Grisdale drive. Lamp won't go. Foul is called. Foul on Lauren Beach. Going against the driving Grisdale. Grisdale will have a chance at the line to get it back to a 10-point game.
Grisdale has just not had it. It's just been one of those days for Grisdale. Cannot seem to get anything going.
Free throw is good. Cuts the lead to 11 with 3:54 in this game. The Bobcats are going to need every scoring opportunity they get and take advantage of it. Now the defense is on, looking for the 5-second call. They can't get it into Herder. Martin going against Herder. Martin, good defense, forces Herder back to the 3-point line. Sydney Scott gives to Lamoureux. Lamoureux drives, pulls it out. Lamoureux trying to bleed some clock here on the offensive side, going against Grisdale. 3-pointer from Lamoureux is good. The Stags can't miss in this fourth quarter. 67-54. Martin tries to calm down the offense for the Bobcats. Martin driving the lane, kicks to Paige. Girardi, 2 is good. Gets it back to an 11-point game with 3 minutes left. Time winding down for the Bobcats. Timeout, or a foul. Foul is called on Paige Girardi. You talked about it earlier, the refs have called this game very tight and will continue to in this fourth quarter action.
Girardi going over to one of the referees, asking for an explanation. So is head coach Trish Fabbri. But still, Fairfield will go to the line.
Now in the bonus, Sydney Scott. First attempt is good. Back to a 12-point lead for the Bobcats. Sydney Scott, second attempt off the mark, but a rebound by Lauren Beach out to Lamoureux. Lamoureux slows it down, under 3 to go. This one kicked back to Lamoureux in the middle. Lamoureux going against Sydney Ryan. 5 seconds, 3 seconds, three-pointer, air ball, shot clock violation. In comes Anna Foley for the Bobcats. For Ella O'Donnell. They tried to get O'Donnell going but couldn't. Now with 2:30 left, it's a 12-point game. The Bobcats need to start hitting now. This one out to Girardi, Girardi into Foley. Foley gives to Martin. Martin back to Foley. Foley, midi. Won't go, rebound Beach. And a push foul is called on the Stags.
A small little mistake for the Stags. Maybe the Bobcats can get a few points out of this, Patrick.
Well, they need to with 2:18 left. Another foul called on Anderson. That will put Quinnipiac in the bonus and send Jackie Grisdale, one of their best shooters, to the line. This is not what Coach Carly wanted. The stopped clock is the worst thing for Fairfield right now. First shot is good for Grisdale. Shot number 2, money as well. O'Donnell back in the game for Sydney Ryan. Now O'Donnell will guard Anderson, who brings it up the floor. Anderson beats her, kicks to the corner, back out to Herder. The ball movement has been spectacular for the Stags in this second half. 2 minutes to play. Still a 10-point game. Anderson's 3, she hits! Now the Bobcats in desperation mode with 1:46 left to go, a 13-point game. Into Foley. Foley swings to Grisdale. Grisdale drives the baseline, pull-up jumper, won't go, rebound O'Donnell. O'Donnell throws it up in there. Now it's an 11-point game with 1:30 to go. Lamoureux gives to Herder. Herder working on Martin. Bobcats not pushing anything defensively. With 1:13 to play, Bobcats allowing the Stags to bleed the clock. This midi won't go, but another rebound and a killer for the Bobcats. Timeout taken by Coach Carr.
Fairfield has been dominating the Bobcats so far, Patrick, on the perimeter. The Bobcats are a pretty decent perimeter team, but Fairfield has been shooting lights out from behind the arch, and it's been a key factor today. It's been very difficult for this Bobcats team in their perimeter defense so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to say that the biggest difference between this game and the last game, I think, is rebounding.
Absolutely.
Not that the Bobcats have really, I mean, they definitely haven't shot as well as they did. And the Stags definitely shooting better than they did last time, for sure. But I think the real difference is in the rebounding, because the Bobcats were getting all those second chance rebounds, second chance opportunities, and you see the Stags doing the exact same thing now. So with 1 minute to play, it's an 11-point game. The Bobcats are going to need a miracle at this point.
Well, 1:04 left. Anything can happen, Patrick. Anything can.
Fairfield pulls it out with Anderson. She kicks to the corner. 13 on the shot clock. They'll continue to bleed the clock. They tried to double. Lauren Beach drives a foul by Foley with 5 seconds on the shot clock. If you're going to take a foul, probably not what Coach Trisha Fabbri wanted. Not what you want, but it is what you get. And they will send Lauren Beach to the line. Graduate forward for the Stags. She hits her first shot, brings it to a 12-point game. Second one's good. In comes Grisdale and Sydney Ryan for the Bobcats. Out will go Foley and Martin. Timeout taken on the floor by the Bobcats. All right, 51 seconds, 13-point game. What are you doing if you're Trisha Fabbri?
I could read her lip. I am not a great lip reader. I'm not professional per se, Patrick, but I'm pretty sure the message right now is go out there, have fun. It's basketball. You know, you're not always going to win a lot of these games. It's a very difficult conference to win, especially when you're playing someone like Fairfield. Go out, have fun, play the Bobcat way, play your game, and make sure that you build momentum heading into the next game next week.
This one into O'Donnell. O'Donnell drives, hits, and one. With 48.3 seconds left, O'Donnell will have a chance to cut it to 10. One free throw coming up for the senior forward. And captain, one of 3 for the Bobcats. O'Donnell from the line. One shot to cut it to 10. Will go. Timeout taken by Coach Carly and the Stags. So now a 10-point game, 48 seconds. Never say never, but definitely feeling out of reach with the way that the Stags have been playing offensively today.
Absolutely. It's been very difficult for this team to shut down a lot of parts of this Fairfield offense, and I alluded to it before. It's very difficult to beat a team twice in anything, any sport. It could be football, it could be hockey, it could be basketball, heck, it could even be pickleball. It's going to be very difficult to beat a team twice because they know what you showed a lot of your cards. And Fairfield went back, went into study, found little pieces of the Bobcats game to exploit, and they've done so well so far.
Now, if the Bobcats had one today, for them to reach their end goal of a MAC championship, they would have had to beat them 3 times, which is even harder. Megan Anderson drive kick out to Lamoureux, over to Herder as they will continue to bleed the clock, and Ella Ryan plays strong defense, but the Bobcats will not foul. So, not the end of the world. More likely than not, these two teams will see each other again in the MAC tournament. And a drive, a foul on Grisdale. Shot won't go for Lamoureux. 20 seconds left. 10-point game. Lamoureux will head to the line. It'll be interesting to hear from Coach Fabbri in her press conference on what the positives she can take away from this game are. They always say you definitely learn more from a loss than you do from a win. And I guarantee you that both teams, now having seen each other, won and lost a game apiece, it's easy to sit here and say these two teams will definitely be in the MAC championship, and you know, any given day anything is possible. So that's a big hypothetical, but you know, if they do see each other again, I expect another game like this, just high intensity and a fight for everything. The MAC championship is what both of these teams have been working for. Fairfield has won it the last 2 years, and the Bobcats now with the veteran group, they've been building and building. That's what they want to go do this year. So it'll be very interesting to see.
To summarize your point, Pat, and I agree, Patrick, I agree with this. It's going to be expect fireworks. These two teams, it's a rivalry, 30 minutes apart. They do not like each other, and they want to beat each other. They want to win, and maybe next time we'll see different results.
This one will go into Foley, missed, and out of bounds. And I think that's another thing the Bobcats struggled with today, was getting it to their bigs. They wanted to play this game through Anna Foley and Ella O'Donnell, and give credit to the Stags. They stepped up and played amazing defense.
After that first quarter, they immediately shut those pathways to the bigs down, and it's been that the perimeter game has been lights out. The Bobcats just really didn't have an answer on the perimeter.
19 seconds left. Lamoureux will dribble it out for the Stags. The Red Sea gets loud in the bank as they watch their team tie the series with the Bobcats. A painful day for Coach Trish Fabbri, but an amazing day for Coach Carly Thibault-Dodonis and the Fairfield Stags. They're going to take the win 75-63. What a showing we had today. And like you said, expect fireworks if these two teams do see each other again. So now let's go take a look at the MAC. Fairfield will move to the #1 spot because of overall record. Quinnipiac lost 4 games in non-conference play. Fairfield only lost 3. So Fairfield will take the #1 seed with overall record. Giving that these teams win out, Fairfield will end with the #1 seed in the regular season championship. The Bobcats will be the 2nd seed. Now, tell me, do you think that Quinnipiac not being the 1 seed could be an advantage? Do you think them losing this game and experiencing a loss in conference they could take a positive away from that, not going into a tournament worried about a loss because they haven't experienced one yet?
Patrick, I absolutely believe that. I think as a team, you need someone to show you how. You need to be beaten, trying to be perfect, trying to go unbeaten in conference play. The struggle of being perfect is that there's always added pressure every single game. That pressure gets tighter and tighter and tighter. If I'm the Bobcats, now we have the loss. We checked it off. We have a conference loss. It's not about perfection. It's about results. And if at the end of the day the Bobcats are sitting as MAC champions on the Atlantic City Boardwalk, I think they'll be okay with that.
Katie Lamoureux, the headline of the Fairfield Stags win today, 30 points. Unbelievable showing by the junior guard, who prior to this game was averaging 18.6. Lauren Beach had 12, Cyan Coe had 8. For the Bobcats, O'Donnell led with 14, Foley with 11, and Grisdale with 9. Now, let's talk about the games left on their schedules. For Quinnipiac, they go to Sacred Heart next weekend, then Niagara at home, and Canisius at home. So they'll finish their regular season with 2 home games. For Fairfield, they play St. Peter's at home, Siena, they'll play away, and then Sacred Heart for the 2nd time back at home to end the season. Now, all these teams, both Fairfield and Quinnipiac, have beat. If they do win out, like we talked about, they'll be the 2nd seed. Quinnipiac will be the 2nd seed. Fairfield will take the #1 seed, and that's going to line up for, I think, an incredible tournament in Atlantic City, one that I know we're both very excited for. Now we are going to send it to commercial, and when they get off, they'll be back in studio recapping the game. From Zach Stokenshire, I'm Patrick McGugan. Stay with us for postgame on Bobcat Gameday.
My name's Stacy, I'm 57, and I was adopted in 2020. One teen can come in and make you look at life in a whole different way.
You know, he's my father, so I look up to him a lot. if I can be 10% of the man he is, I'll be a happy person for sure.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Do you enjoy debating Quinnipiac sports?
That's all flash, no catch. She didn't net it in the back of the net. That's not even a goal.
What are you doing pulling out Ryan?
Brady, that's like a crossover with a missed layup.
Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you, with debate, analysis, and so much more.
Matej Marinov. He is good, but oh man, is he bad. And
that team is amazing. How do you not put Fairfield women's volley?
Tune in to Bobcat Breakdown every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. on Q30TV.com/watch.
Have you ever helped a fellow veteran?
Of course.
Yes. Have you ever asked for help yourself?
It's always tough, right? I always feel like I can solve my own problems, but eventually, you just can't deal with it on your own.
And you start to question, maybe people would be better off without me. When you realize that you're not alone, once you take that first step, there's so much support.
Welcome back inside Studio 125 alongside Zach Naffah, Thomas Curtis, and Brady Mullen. I'm Ben Rickevicius. Before we get into those full game highlights, I want to get your guys' thoughts on the game. Brady, got to start with you, my friend.
As we said in the pregame, it was Quinnipiac's game to lose, and I think they proved exactly that.
Yeah.
I think they played poorly on defense. I think they had a lot of turnovers offensively, and it just unraveled quickly after the first quarter for them.
And they couldn't guard Katie Lambro. She had 30 points. We talked about it. At the halftime, I said I think I'd rather Lambro go at the bucket. I was completely wrong.
She heard that and she accepted the challenge.
Yeah, I guess she was
4 for 8 from 3-point range.
She was spectacular.
4 for 8.
She was the best ball handler I've seen in the MAC this season, and that's exactly what she is.
And then on top of that, Quinnipiac, it struggled from behind the arc. They went 4 for 14 in the game, 1 for their last 5.
There it is.
Not what you want to do when you're trying to close out a game or get back into a game. You find yourself down double digits, you're firing up shots, and you just can't find them.
Especially if they're not falling, that snowballs so quick.
They made 3 of their last 4 shots, and it was still a 12-point loss. So that's not a recipe for success at all by any means.
Fairfield's also getting 10 offensive rebounds to Quinnipiac's 4. So if you have that many second chance points, that's 20 points right there.
They only had 5 second chance points too, so they weren't even necessarily generating off of that. The problem is they're getting those boards and taking more time away with possession.
A lot of good stuff. All right, let's get to the highlights. Well, this in-state rivalry game certainly lived up to the hype, and Quinnipiac and Fairfield coming in with that one conference loss, and Quinnipiac perfect on the season, and spoiler alert, that would end. Ella Ryan for Quinnipiac helped them get off to a good start. A little step back 3 action put them up 3 early. And the Bobcats defense in the first quarter was very strong. Anna Foley with this big block on a Stag to make it 11-5, and then Grisdale, nice inbound pass to her, beats the buzzer, and then Foley, look at this action in the blow block, gets the jumper to go. It's 15-10 after the first quarter. Fabbri loving it. She wouldn't love the rest of this game, though. Janelle Brown, a nice layup inside to put the Stags only down 1, and then Jillian Herder ties this game up with a 3 on a 9-2 run for the Stags. Scored halftime is 28-24, and Fairfield started off that second half hot. Cyan Cohen backs down the Bobcats defense. 4-point lead for the Stags, and then Sydney Scott takes over, just like she did in Atlantic City last year, knocking that triple down to make it a 4-point lead. And then Sydney Ryan would answer the call for Quinnipiac. It's 35-31. And then how about one more Sydney Ryan 3 to make it a 1-point game. It's 51-47 going into the fourth quarter. Jackie Grisdale doing everything she can to keep the Bobcats in this one, hitting a quarter 3 to make it a 1-point game. It was a 1-point game in this fourth quarter at one point, but then the Stags just take over. Beach gets the layup to go, 59-42. And eventually Fairfield wins this one, 75-63. 30-piece for Katie Lambro. Thomas, what worked for her in this one?
She was going at Jackie Grisdale all game. Her dribble drives, like we talked about in the first half, were working well. And then when she did spray, those defenders rotated out towards the shooters, and once she noticed that, she just kept going downhill, got to the bucket. And then she knocks down 4 threes on the catch and shoot that I wasn't really expecting her to catch and shoot, knock those down. So everything is really your answer.
You can't stop someone who can drive and also shoot from 3. And as Thomas just said, when everything's working, that's pretty good for the Stags.
Volume scorer for Lambro. All 40 minutes played all 40 minutes and gave it to the Bobcats for all 40 minutes. Those 12 points in the first half, then 18 in the second to really put the game away. I think Lambro just you need to step up in the biggest games, and she shined the brightest as a star.
She was the best player
in this
in
one.
this
Best
game,
player
no doubt.
by
Absolutely no doubt.
far.
Can I pose this one to you guys? Did this performance put her over the edge for you for MAC Player of the Year, or you think somebody else taking that throne?
I had no one else going into this game. I
Yeah.
thought it was
Her
always
teammate Anderson, who, mind you, had 7, all of them came in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So clutch time for Anderson, yes. But Lamro was the best player from start to finish in this game, and in my opinion, is still the best player in the conference, and it's only extended that lead for me.
So I think we'll solidify that. Lamro,
Put the graphic up.
pretty much a
Absolutely,
lock
yeah.
for MAC Player of the Year. That's great stuff, guys. Well, we're going to step aside for 90 seconds, but the show's not over. We're going to come back and discuss who these guys have winning the MAC. Bobcat Game Day will be right back.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Here at Sports Pause, we like to have balance between having fun and working hard. Sometimes that competition we cover gets into our producing.
Tune in every Monday night at 9:30 at q30tv.com/watch for all the news, highlights, and more. This is Sports Pause.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try and to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
Welcome back to Studio 125. 3 conference games on the schedule left. That 1 seed isn't 100% locked in. Fairfield Quinnipiac now tied for first place. Who do you have winning the regular season championship? And then if we want to go further, who's taking the crown in AC?
It's tough to tell for Atlantic City. Anything can happen in the tournament. But I will say I'm going with the Fairfield Stags to win the conference in the regular season. I think that despite Quinnipiac being the best team going into this one, had been undefeated so far, these teams are 1-1 against each other. And I just think you look at the second half. When it was crunch time, 47 points in the second half for Fairfield, 23 in the third, 24 in the fourth. This is a Bobcats team that was holding opponents close to under 50 for an entire game, and Fairfield put up 47 in just 20 minutes. For me, that performance right there is going to what pushed the Stags over the edge on top.
I totally agree with you there. When you have such momentum like this, and you're taking down the #1 overall team in the conference, pardon me, that'd be sick if they were the nation. In the conference, and scoring 75, as you just said, that momentum, that energy that you get, that is huge. And to show that it was just a fluke down in Fairfield for the Stags, that's also
and
pretty
it validated their AP votes as well.
Yeah, the AP knows what they're doing much more than us. But one thing for me, for Fairfield, is they've got that go-to scorer, Katie Lamro. We talked about it before the break. When Quinnipiac was down, they had nobody to go to. I felt like they needed a bucket. They needed a 3. It was a lot of pass around and hope somebody's open. Instead of, for Fairfield, they're like, we need a bucket, pass it to Lamro.
Well, yeah, Grisdale again. I didn't think she was going to end up having as bad a game as she did last time, where she had 3 points. This time, yeah, she had 9 points.
A lot of catch and shoot, too.
4 of them from the free throw line. She didn't shoot well. It was 2 for 6 from the field. You need more than 6 shots. We're talking about the over/under for points. You want to be over 13 points per game. You're averaging 12, and you're taking 6 shots. You need to get more than that.
That was the conversation. It was the volume. For me, I said she needs to up her volume these last 4 games.
And it went
she
down.
did in this one. It went down.
Yeah, well, Megan Anderson was a key player for Fairfield going into this game. She kind of underperformed a little bit today. Who stepped up into her shoes to help Fairfield get this win today? TC, I'll start with you.
I thought it was a combination of all the shooting. It was Sydney Scott hit a couple big threes, which I didn't really have her as a factor coming into it. Jill Herder hit a couple threes, and that's what she's known for. But it was just other players stepping up. It wasn't really that one player. It was just a couple players on the perimeter that knocked down shots when Lamro needed to pass.
I would say it was one player.
I was going to say,
that's got to be Lauren Beach. Perfect from the field, just like the last time they played the Bobcats. 5 for 5, 12 points, perfect from the line, and 5 rebounds. I mean, if she's not there, this is a way closer game.
In 25 minutes, she put up those 12 points. 12-point deficit for the Bobcats. So I think that Beach is the #1 player that stepped up the most. Like you said, Scott hitting those a pair of threes, Herder hitting a pair of threes, that helped as well. That's 12 points
That's
right there.
4 threes right there.
I was going to say, those 4 threes are 12
game is
points.
where they struggled before. That's why I liked them. And Beach was a lot in transition. She was wide open, so I just wasn't as impressed by
outside of
those
behind
points.
the arc, though, Quinnipiac shot better from the field, from the free throw line than the Stags. It was those threes from Herder and Scott that really changed the game as well.
All right, well, we talked about Fairfield and who stepped up today, but let's look into the future for the Bobcats. Brady, I'll start with you here. For the last 3 games, Sacred Heart, and then that Western New York road trip again, who do you think needs to step up the most for Quinnipiac?
I really think it's got to be Karson Martin. Look, she's coming off the bench. She's the 6th man. Fabbri likes to keep such a good player on the bench so you can have that 6th man to come out, really keep the momentum going. And she had 8 points today, 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. Not what you want to see from her. She did make one, but they called a moving screen. So Karson Martin got to step up here going into these last few, and then obviously in Atlantic City.
Yeah, Anna Foley, I thought, as my player, she had 11 points. She was 5 for 8 from the field. So you look at the box, you're like, that was pretty impressive. But some of the shots she took towards the end were just ill-advised when they needed more points. They were forced. They were fadeaways. She made one in the highlight that we saw, but it was just not
early on too.
Yeah, exactly. It was just not what they needed down the stretch, and they're going to need scoring out of Foley. That's not these fadeaways with multiple players on her.
I think I'm going to have to agree with Brady here in Karson Martin because we talked about last time, Martin was the best player on the court for the Bobcats. I believe it was 21 points she had, or was it 19? Either way. This time, 8 points in 21 minutes. I almost think that she needed to play more in this one. I know she played over half the game coming off the bench, but in 21 minutes, shot 50% from the field, 0 for 3 from behind the arc, like you said, Brady. I think that was the biggest difference is she was contained today, whereas at Fairfield early on in the year, she wasn't.
Either of you, who do you take out to put Martin in to slide her into that lineup? Because you got 4 players that played over 30 minutes.
That's where it's whether you want to go the big lineup and you keep Sydney Ryan in as the 4, or do you take Sydney Ryan out and bump Grisdale down to the 4?
And I didn't think Sydney Ryan played well enough down low to play her at the 4. So it's just for Fabbri, it's you see the number and you're like, you need to get her in, but where do you slide her into the lineup?
I just think that today, when you weren't getting anything out of pretty much anybody except for really Ella O'Donnell and Anna Foley, you need someone that can be a spark plug like Karson Martin in the game, especially when she did it against Fairfield earlier this year. Obviously, it's a little demoralizing when you hit a shot from, 3 feet behind the arc and it doesn't even count because of a moving screen, but she has the ability to shoot. You want to have her in for a game like this, especially when you go 4 for 14 from behind the line.
I think in this case you take out Ella Ryan, who was also struggling throughout the whole game, and you put in Karson Martin for a couple more of her minutes than Ella Ryan.
Yeah, well, it seems like these two teams on another crash course to meet in a MAC championship, but still a couple weeks, a lot can happen.
Be very entertaining if that do.
It really would be. That's going to bring us to the end of Bobcat Game Day. It's been a blast to stay up to date on everything going on with Quinnipiac sports, especially as we get closer to March. Be sure to follow Q30 Television on all social media platforms. A big thank you to everyone working behind the scenes. We couldn't have run this show without you guys. For Brady Mullen, Thomas Curtis, and Zach Naffah, I'm Ben Rickevicius. Thank you for tuning in and have a happy Valentine's Day.